Monday. We got work to do. A whole bunch of orders to ship out from the weekend. Solid weekend of sales. It was really a great week. The weekend was a little bit slower than the weekdays, but we're going to ship out all these orders. I'm going to tell you exactly what sold, exactly how much it sold for, what my profit margin is, how much I paid for those items, about how long they took to sell, all that information. We're going to share here on this live just a good, honest glimpse into my life as a full-time reseller. I go live every Monday afternoon, right around noontime, and go over all the weekend orders. So these are orders from the last 48 hours. I did ship Saturday right around noontime. So we're looking at 48 hours worth of sales on eBay, Poshmark, nothing on Mercari, and at chris@peak.com. Welcome in, everybody. Hope you're having a good start to your week. If you haven't said hello down below, like Juliet, I'd love to hear from you. Love to hear how the weekend was, how our sales, what's happening in your neck of the woods. What's up, Gravity? How are you? Juliet, Gravity in the house. Welcome in, everybody. We're live on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. If you're over there on Instagram and you want like that wider screen, you can come over to Facebook or YouTube and get that wide screen action. Welcome in. If you're new to the channel, a new subscriber, a new follower, I'd love for you to say hello, introduce yourself, let us know what you resell down below in the chat. Or if you just want to hang out in the background, that's cool too. We like that. What's up, Jack? Welcome in. Always good to have you. Always good to have you. Jack is in the house. All right. We got, you're the boss for just a moment. Let me know what we're going to ship first. Are we going to do eBay, Poshmark, or chris@peak.com? We're going to ship all that stuff, but let me know what we're going to ship first. Just say it down below in the chat, and whatever I see first is what we'll go with. So let me know, eBay, Poshmark, or chris@peak.com. Chemo is in the house. Cam de Blam. Jack, you're always good for a chuckle. What's up? Is it raining from California? Welcome in. Good to have you. Happy to get early notification. It's been too long. You got to turn the notifications on your profile. Go to my profile, hit that bell icon, and then change it to get all notifications, I think is what it says. You want to do that. You'll know every time I go live and every time I drop a new video. What's up? Scott Weeks is in the house. Scott Weeks, we don't sell on Depop, that teenager platform. Juliet says eBay. We'll start with eBay. You got it, Juliet. You're the boss. New reseller, new to your channel. Welcome aboard, Motivated Mama. What kind of stuff are you flipping? Let us know down below in the chat. Good to have you on board. Jack says coffee. We'll get to coffee after we do some eBay. Good sales this weekend for me. Sold a postcard for $95 and a golf bag for $100. Those two sales, along with a lot of bread and butter. So no complaints here. Mercari has been crummy for me too. Yeah, Mercari's always kind of crummy for me. I actually had a solid Mercari month as far as Mercari goes last month in May. But yeah, I'm with you. Those are great sales. $95 for a postcard. Get out of town. That's awesome. Picker Trent, we'll start with eBay. You got it. Mikey Mikes sold an Allen Edmonds dress shoes for $250 to Hungary. My buy cost was $80. Nice flip. Love that you paid up because you knew you had some good high-priced inventory that was going to go out the door. That's awesome. Very cool stuff. Love to hear y'all talking to each other too. I'd love to hear what you sold over the weekend. If you want to drop that down below in the chat, I love reading about your success. And also, if you got like struggles, challenges, I like to hear about that too. We can talk through some of that stuff. I'm here for your questions. But let's dig into some sales. I got to print out these eBay shipping labels first. There they go. All right, so tail of the tape from the weekends. So get this. Thursday, 18 sales. Friday, 20 sales. Like 38 units in 2 days is really, really good for me. And then the weekend, Saturday was 10, Sunday was 9. We're sitting on 3 so far today. But how about that? Like 38 Thursday. And Friday, I've had a trend where like Fridays have been really, really strong. I'll take 20 units on every Friday if I can order that up, right? All right, so let's get this all done. We're going to start with Eric. Okay. Welcome in, everybody. If you haven't said hello, I want to hear from you. And I think maybe some other people in the chat want to hear from you too. I just sold 170 Disney Doorables. What are Doorables? That's cool. Whatever it is, that's awesome. I love that $285 sale price. Pretty good weekend. 6 Posh orders on Sunday. Nice. My Posh was slow. I almost got shut out on Posh for the weekend. I shipped out a bunch on Saturday for Poshmark, but the last 2 days, 2 orders on Posh, but both of them were bundles. So we'll get to those in a little bit. Both of them are great bundles, actually. Got a lot of blazers going out the door today. I'm excited about that. Some kind of like unusual, more stuff that I would call fall inventory, selling like right now. Like we had the hottest week that we've had all year here in Asheville this week, and I'm selling like fall stuff. It's always kind of funny. Sold a DS game for $80, paid $1 at a yard sale. You can't beat that. What was that? That was Paul. You can't beat that, Paul. Nice flip. paid $8 for them all. Nice. That's such a good flip. I'm great, man. How are you doing? You've been watching my videos, you slacker. You've been watching my videos, you slacker. Am I supposed to be watching your videos? I don't know. I don't watch a ton of I watch cat videos is what I watch. I'm not really watching like reseller videos. I watch cat videos. What else do I watch? Funny videos, but mostly just cat videos is my thing. Saturday was a huge garage sale day. Tons of military camo and other bread and butter items filled up the whole hatch. I like it. I didn't know you were doing videos again. Okay, you guys are talking back and forth. All right, next up is, or first up is, I guess we'll start with this one right here. This is actually a really cool one. So this one's going out to Raul. I've been playing around with mall store brands lately a little bit more. So this is a pair of Gap jeans right here, men's size 30 by 30. They're called the 90s vintage. Let me see. They're not actually vintage to the 90s, but the model is called loose 90s loose fit is what these are called. So I've been picking up in style items from some of those mall brands, the Abercrombies, the Gaps. I don't know if I've done any like Aeropostale, Hollister lately. I've picked up some like wide leg baggy jeans from Hollister and flipped them really quickly. So these sold for full asking price, $27.99. It took exactly 30 days to sell these. So $27.99. I paid $6 at the thrift store. I picked up 2 pairs of these, the exact same size, exact same model, exact same condition. So I actually listed them as quantity 2. One of them sold $27.99. We'll take it. So this is going out the door to Raul. I don't pick up a lot of Gap, I just want to put that caveat out there. I pick up some Gap, and it has to be, you get it, like 90s loose fit jeans, like that style is really hot right now. They were on a modern tag, but a 90s style, if that makes sense. Not actually vintage to the 90s. So pretty cool sale there. Do y'all ever mess with some of those like mall store brands? Like what types of things do you have luck with? Like J. Crew is another one. I've been messing with a lot of J. Crew lately. I've been messing with some Banana Republic lately too. Those brands can be tricky. But if you pick the really inside style stuff, those can go. So thank you, Raul. First order out the door. Next up is for Eric. We moved some bad inventory, which makes me really happy. I like getting rid of this old stuff. So got a FootJoy golf polo. I very rarely pick these up now. Maybe like a cool all over print or a great, like really in demand Country Club logo. I'll pick up FootJoy. This is neither of those. I don't think it had a Country Club logo at all. Just kind of a boring green stripe, men's size medium. Sat around for a while. I lowered the price. Lowered it again. I got a best offer, $13.48 on these out the door. See you later. I paid $5 for this, so not a lot of profit here. But this is part of the business. Any business that's selling clothing has to clearance some stuff out that just for whatever reason didn't sell. The reason this FootJoy didn't sell is because the market value has really gone down over the past 3 years. And it's at a very low point right now. This might be the bottom of the market for FootJoy. Those golf brands, they go up and down so quick. FootJoy is just one of those classic golf brands, though. Been around a long time. Nice, Swiss. Good morning. Megan's in the house. Good weekend sales for me. Oddly enough, I'm selling a lot of jeans. Yeah, I already shipped 1 pair of jeans. I see 1 more pair of jeans on top of that. But I got some other fall stuff, too, that we'll see. Got some interesting stuff you'll want to hang out for, some great sale prices. Good weekend over here. Glad to hear that your weekend was good. In general, jeans have been selling better for me over the past 6 weeks than I thought. Typically, come April 15th, I see jeans slow down, particularly ones that are like low sell-through rate or mid sell-through rate. I see those really slow down because the only people who are getting those sales in the middle of the summer are the people who are at the very bottom of the market typically. So, but I've actually been selling like Levi's like pretty consistently throughout the last like month and a half. I'm actually kind of surprised. I'm selling a lot of pants too. Yep, I got some pants going out the door today for sure. Remember I told you I got rid of 20 old style blazers a few months ago, and now this week alone I just sold 2 in style blazers. I'm definitely keep picking up. Yep, just like any category, man. You pick up the right stuff and it'll move, especially if you have a great sales strategy, which I know you do. I've only sold 22 items so far. How do you typically respond to counter offers, especially if they don't seem fair? Do you respond or ignore? I respond to all offers on eBay and or actually on all the platforms. I respond to all offers with a price that I'm comfortable with. So if I have an item that's listed at 25 bucks, somebody comes in with an offer for 12 bucks, I'm not taking 12 bucks for a $25 item. So I would counter at something like $22, something that's comfortable for me, and see what happens from there. And then if they just want to keep staying at low prices like 12 or 13 or 14 bucks, I just ignore them after a little bit. If you don't like the price count, and welcome aboard, by the way, 22 sales, congrats. You're moving and grooving. I like it. If you don't like the price counter offer, if you can afford to sell to the price, there you go. I like it. Accepting offers on Depop and Vinted, then Crickets, so annoyed. Does Vinted have that same? I've never sold on Vinted. I don't know anything about it. Do they have that same thing where you can just make offers and they're not binding, and you can accept offers and it's not binding? Is it like Depop in that regard? I do Depop and was thinking of expanding from eBay and Poshmark platforms. I was considering Depop. I didn't know you didn't list on Depop. Do you list on Mercari? I do. I list on Mercari reluctantly. I haven't been on Depop for probably 3 years or so now. I used to sell on Depop. It was just the offers, the constant offers thing, and I didn't really sell a lot on there. So it's just like, why am I logged into this platform with like all the stupid notifications for very little sales? Also, you got to remember, in my world, I'm posting content multiple times every day on 4 different social media platforms and responding to comments and messages and notifications there. I also run my own website, chris@peak.com. I sell on Amazon and I'm selling on eBay, Poshmark. So at some point, right, there's a lot of diminishing returns. Like, how many platforms should I really be on? How many notifications do I need to get? How many different apps do I need to be in every day? It's kind of a little grand central station going on over here every single day, every single hour, all weekend long, all night long. There's always something. So for me to put one something aside that wasn't really helping my business all that much, Depop, made sense. But that doesn't mean for you, Scott, you might not have all those crazy things going on, and it might make a little bit more sense for you to add Depop. I found on Depop, if you accept the offer, then give them a message of any sort in addition. About 75% of the time they pay. There's your trick right there. That sounds like a lot of extra work for me. I don't want to be messaging these people and trying to make best friends, but I like the tip. 75% is pretty crazy on that. Oops, I don't Depop. Had a first for me, had someone send back a different pair of Tommy Bahama pants than what I sent them. eBay sided with me and I kept the money. Boom, W, nice job. Nice job. It's going to happen. It might have been on purpose. It might have also been a mistake. I had somebody return a blazer for me. I sold them like I think it was a Ralph Lauren blazer for like, $40 or something like that. They returned a different blazer, but they returned a polo rugby blazer. So I reported the return as like, hey, the person returned the wrong item. eBay sided with me. I kept the money. And then I sold the Ralph Lauren rugby blazer for like $140 or something like that. So that was a pretty good W right there. But maybe the guy did it on purpose. Maybe not. I don't know. But I just reported it and didn't know how it was going to go, and it went. How many listings daily? I list 70 to 80 items a week. I don't list daily. I would focus more on dollar amount. Colette, there's some good advice right there on the screen for me from Gravity Goods. There's different ways of doing this. Some people focus on dollars. Some people focus on units. There's no right or wrong. They're all right. Just do what works for you. I had an individual hound me for messages saying $10 was fair for an extra large pink Ralph Lauren dress shirt. In their defense, it didn't have a logo on the front, but $10 still felt too low. Maybe those are tough sells, without the logo on those. So, I don't know. It's up to you. I'm not going to tell you what the price is. I know you can do the research and you can look, you can easily comp on eBay. Just search for Ralph Lauren dress shirt XL pink, just like you put there in the chat, and look at the sell-through rate of the item and look at recent sale prices and see what the market is and decide what makes sense. That's really my best advice. All that data. I mean, that's exactly how I would make the decision. If you ask me, I'd have to just go and look it up on eBay and check the sell-through rate and look at the sale price. I'd do the same thing that you would do. So just go do it. Next up is for Terry, Lands and Corduroy. Speaking of like fall type of items, not a brand that I pick up a lot of stuff from, Land's End, but there are certain things from Land's End that I love picking up. Corduroy blazers is one of them. This is a very modern tag from Land's End, like very, very like right now. Men's size 46 on this, cotton stretch, so it's got a little spandex in it too. men's 46R, sold for $38.99. I think that was my full asking price, actually. So $38.99. I paid $7 for this blazer. So nice flip there. I haven't talked enough about profits, so I'll click in and I'll look at my profits after fees and stuff and share that with you as much as I can during this live too. So this is a good one, so we'll look it up. Let's see. So after fees and my shipping label, eBay is going to pay me out $29.57 on this sale, and I paid $7, so $22.57 profit on this. If you want to subtract about 15 cents for for shipping supplies, like my 2-cent shipping label and my 1-cent thank you sticker and like my 6-cent poly bag, that all adds up basically to 15 cents on average per unit. So if you want to subtract that from it, be my guess. But roughly I made about $22 and change on that after fees, after cost of goods, and after my shipping. So, and that is going to Terry, I said, right? Yep. There you are. So nice blazer sale. We got 5 blazers going out the door today. So that's really solid 2 days right there. Blazers are my highest margin item. Suits and blazers are my highest margin category. Men's formal wear or menswear, whatever you want to call it. I typically make more profit per item on those than anything else. This Lands' End blazers on the lower end, right? $38.99. But typically when I'm picking up blazers, I'm expecting them to sell for $35 or higher. So $38.99 is kind of on the lower end for blazers for me. They can go all the way up to $100, $150 blazers. I've sold blazers for over $200 before. So tons and tons of potential in that category. I love it. I continue to learn more and more every year about blazers. This year I'm on pace for about 160 blazers sold. It might be a little bit more than that, like maybe 170, like kind of on pace for that. So that's pretty good. Last year I did like 126. So kind of continuing the trend in the upward direction on those every year. I sell a few more. And I think right now I'm at like the height of my powers in terms of knowledge with blazers. Feel like I'm learning every single day. Got a pair of Duluth Trading. I love selling this pair of pants. They're called the Dry on the Fly pants. That's the model for this, Dry on the Fly. Men's, women's, capris, shorts. If it's dry on the fly, I pick it up. How do I know this is dry on the fly? On the inside, on the materials tag, like the care tag, right next to that, you're going to find a tag that has a style number. So I just Google Duluth Trading and that style number, and I see what pops up. And in this case, it popped up that it's dry on the fly. I also just kind of recognize them now. They don't typically say dry on the fly on them, but they'll have a style number. And once you start recognizing certain models, you'll start recognizing them and you won't have to look up the style number anymore. So this is a pair of dry on the fly cargo capri pants. They're women's. They sold on a best offer of $22.99. I picked these up. Men's, women's, shorts, capris, whatever. I'm grabbing the dry on the fly. Good model from Duluth, especially this time of year. People are buying hiking pants. This is going to Missoula, Montana. So these are going on a hike next weekend, hopefully somewhere beautiful. Thank you, Christy, for your order. The amount of notifications and non-binding offers on Depop is really annoying, but it does far outsell Mercari for me as well. Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like Depop's probably on balance going to be a higher sales platform than Mercari at this point. Wasn't always that way, but I feel like that's probably true now from what I'm hearing from other people. But the notifications thing, and yeah, I had somebody reach out to me from Depop. I don't know, it was probably 8 months ago now, on Instagram, and they said, like, what would it take to get you to start selling on Depop? And I said, well, listen, I sold on Depop for years, and I stopped because A, it was low sales, and B, there was just the non-binding offers. It was a waste of time. It was just such a time suck for so little sales. So I stopped selling on Depop. She said, well, what would it take for you to get you back on Depop? I said, make the offers binding, and I'll be back tomorrow. You just let me know the day that you turn it back on, or the day you turn on binding offers, and I'll be back, and I'll be on my social media talking all about it. But this rep told me that the non-binding offers were an important part of Depop culture. That's what she said to me word for word. So I said, well, until that culture changes, my culture is I like to. I'm here for business. I'm here to sell stuff. I'm not here to socialize and throw around numbers. It's a business for me. It's not a hangout. It's not a fun thing, right? It's business, and I thought that's what y'all were in this for too, right? To make money. But I said, let me know when you guys get the binding offers, and I'll be back, and I'll be proud of it. I'll talk all about it. What is happening on Mercari is so dead for me. It's just the platform's kind of not where it once was. They made some uh, strategic errors that they've acknowledged as strategic errors, and I think they're dealing with the ramifications of that right now. Totally understand why Chris doesn't list on Depop, but I will tell other resellers up tempo, less up tempo is what I've sold 53 units on Depop and 5 in the same time. Nice, nice, nice. I don't know what the up tempo is, but maybe I missed something. Hope your weekend was good. Best weekend for me of the year. Wow, look at that. 15 sales with a sale on every platform. Let's go. Been working on Nifty all weekend, changing prices on my older items to try to move them out, changing settings for the best. Nice. I've done a lot of that price lowering on Nifty too. They made that so much easier with like the update they made like maybe 6 weeks or 2 months ago, where now you can just you don't have to go into the listing cards. You can just change, like one click and then a second click, change the price. I love it. I love that they changed that, so I can just lower prices across all the platforms with just a couple of clicks. I'm really happy with that update. My sales on Depop have been really good lately, but I just list there because I use Nifty, so why not just cast my net further, wider? Yep, I'm with you. I feel you. What's up, brother? Thanks for all your knowledge. Hey, Mark, how are you? I picked up 8 blazers and 4 suits in the last 2 weeks and already sold 1 of the suits and 4 of the blazers. That's a great sell-through rate. I love it, Mark. Mark, if you're digging the blazer knowledge, I got something in the works for you with people like you in mind who are really looking to grow your sales in that category. I got something in the works. It's still under wraps. It's still not ready to talk about yet, but something that I'm excited about. And I literally have you in mind for this. Someone who's okay, cool. I've tasted some success in this category. I know there's a ton of opportunity here. I know resellers are overlooking this in all the stores that you go to. And you want to grow. And so I got something in the works for you. I just can't talk about it quite yet, but I have you in mind as I'm putting together this thing. What's up, Frenchie in the house? How's the weather in Paris, brother? What's up, Bass and Coffee? How are you? Good to have you as always. Operational temping, meaning you are very busy. Gotcha. You and your buzzwords. I don't know these buzzwords. I work for myself. I don't have these corporate buzzwords in my back pocket. We don't talk that way around here. We just say what we mean. I'm just giving you a hard time. If you pick up clothing that you had dry cleaned, do you leave the dry cleaning tags on when selling? If it's in the way of tags, if it's in the way of reading a size tag or a material tag, I'll take it off. But if it's not in the way of anything, I'll just leave it on. To me, it shows that the item, it's an indicator, at least to the seller, that maybe that item was more well taken care of than another one that doesn't have the tag. I mean, it's not I don't think it's make or break, but I don't think it hurts. I'm in on blazer knowledge. I got you. I got something in the works, and I think I'm pretty excited about it. I'll know it's just not ready to talk about because I just don't. It hasn't come to fruition yet. It's still sort of this mythical, magical thing that I'm really excited about, but it'll come into shape and form. I would think over the next week or so. My sales on eBay have been really gone down. Poshmark has been crazy. 5 sales yesterday. Depop has been bringing in sales too. Nice. So I had a slow Poshmark weekend. You had a busy one, but this time of year brings a lot of turbulence. So typically when sales slow down for me, and I do expect summer slowdown, June, July, and August are typically down months for me. February is also a down month for me. Those are the 4 worst months of the year: February, and then June, July, August. I usually have one good summer month, and it's random. Sometimes it's July, sometimes it's August, sometimes it's June. But I'll have 2 bad summer months. I know that's pretty much fact. This is my 8th summer in business. So the last 7 years, there's always been 1 good month and 2 bad months. I suspect the same will be true this year. So summer slowdown is coming. It is a thing, particularly for clothing resellers. People are out. They are spending money on travel. The kids are out of school. They're spending money on experiences, spending time on experiences, and not spending as much time shopping. Also, we're kind of like the good like spring summer shopping seasons behind us. People have bought their swim trunks, they've bought their t-shirts, their shorts, their golf polos. By and large, that stuff still sells, but you see what I mean. People buy it for the beginning of the season or the season that's coming. So it's gonna be slow for a couple of months. But for me, when it gets slow, it's not like all of a sudden I have like 5 days in a row of 5 sales. 5 sales a day is slow for me. It doesn't happen that way. It happens kind of like what happened this past week. I'll show you like my daily like units sold, or I'll just talk it through. So it's actually been a really great start to the month. So June 1st, 17 items. Next day, 10, which is below average for me. The next day, 10. Next day, 18, which is through the roof on Thursday. 20 on Friday, through the roof, and then like back down to slightly below average on Saturday at 10. Yesterday, a little bit below average at 9. Today, we're at 3. We'll see what happens. So, but typically, that's what I see happen. It doesn't just like drop off. You start getting these like kind of wild, like good day, bad day, good day, bad day, and you're like, what is going on here? I talked to a couple other resellers over the weekend too, and they're seeing the same things. And sometimes it's opposite, right? They were like, I was slow during the week. I had a couple days in a row, Thursday, Friday, that were slow. But my weekend was crazy. Mine was the opposite. I was crazy the other 2 days. So it's just it becomes turbulent to me when it slows down. It doesn't necessarily, and like one platform's raging, another one's, crashing. And that's what usually materializes for me in the slower months. It's not just like this consistent slow. It's just kind of strange. It's ups and downs. It's roller coasters. And that's what I experience for slow season. We have never sold a blazer until this year. We have sold several this year. I love that, Frenchie. That's great. I look at flipping blazers every time. Yet to buy one, though, you got to pull the trigger on something good. My sales have been horrible, but I haven't been listing in weeks. You say that all the time, Jack. I feel like that's like you have like a save, like a hotkey or something to say that same thing. I feel like you say that like once a month in here. Just left the dead Lenore City, Tennessee Goodwill. Surprised to find 6 Joseph A. Bank greater pattern wool blazers, average price $6. There you go. I'll take that. If I knew I could walk into a Goodwill right now and find 6 Joseph A. Bank good pattern blazers wool, if I knew that was the case, I would turn this live off and I would go grab them, as long as it was nearby. I ended 95% of my promoted listings. Sales haven't changed at all, really. Makes me wonder. I'm highly interested in your blazer suit info. I've sold 12 suits and 14 blazers in the past 60 days. That's my niche. I like it, man. That's good rhythm. You've probably sold more suits than me. I just don't find many suits because my Goodwills don't tend to be very good at keeping the pants and the jacket together, if you know what I mean. Which is annoying. Hold on, my post office lady's here right now. Give me a second. Can I throw 3, 4 at you? Hey. All right. What did I miss here? Yeah, you're doing great, Scott. I love it. Had a great sourcing weekend. Found a bunch of LL Bean and Orbis made in America vintage items. Awesome. Getting a lot of interest. Good. I love that. What's up, Mandy? Do you recommend someone or someone I can hire to use their cross-lister like Nifty to put my eBay items on the other platforms? Can you recommend someone or some place I can hire? There's a lot of things that you could hire for in your business. Do I think that that's like I don't know that that's a place that I don't know if that's a place I would hire for that specific task. It might be an annoying task for you. I just don't know. But so to answer your question, I have no idea where you would find somebody to do that. To be honest, I don't know where you would find that. Maybe you could find somebody overseas on one of those platforms like what's that one? Somebody will drop it down below in the chat. What's that platform where you can hire people that are like virtual assistants or like, what the heck is it that I'm thinking about? Somebody will drop it down below in the chat, but maybe that. I just don't know that I would hire for that because cross-listing, I mean, shoot. So by the way, and you already have Nifty, it looks like. So Why don't you just list through the AI lister on Nifty, and then it will just automatically put it to all the platforms, right? You just drop in the photos, it writes the title, writes the description for you. You look it over real quick, and then you push it to all four platforms. Like, to me, it would be like it would literally slow my op. I would pay somebody to slow my operation down, right? Just list through. You already have Nifty, you pay for it, use it to its maximum. Just start listing through the AI lister. I mean, it's gonna save you time. It's like anything; it'll take you a week or so to get the hang of it. But once you get the hang of it, you're gonna spend less time listing, and you won't need to so you'll actually you won't hire anybody, and you'll save time. So I would rather you do that. It just wouldn't make sense if you didn't have Nifty. It's a different conversation, probably, right? But if you use that Nifty AI cross lister, yeah, it just pushes it to all four platforms instantly. Like, there's not another step to go cross list. So you'll end up saving some time, and you won't need to hire anybody. You'll save your money too. And that'll add complexity to your business, like managing an employee for something that you could do yourself in less time if you just maximized your use of that Nifty product. It sounds like you're not using the AI lister. If you were, we wouldn't be having this conversation. I'm definitely interested in, and of course, everybody can do whatever they want. Everybody's business is a little bit differently, but objectively, it'll save you time and money to not hire somebody and just use the tool that you're already paying for with Nifty. I'm definitely interested in learning more about blazers. Just sold one today, an Allen Flusser window pane. Nice pickup. See, that's the type of pickup I like, a sneaky good one like that. A brand that's you got to be really careful with. You got to pick, the cream that rises to the top of that brand. So I love that flip. That's like an experienced flip right there. I like that. Picked up a full suit, jacket, vest, pants in a senior center sale a few weeks ago for $1. It was a Joseph A. Bank, but for $1, yeah. I mean, yeah, that when your cost of goods is so low, I mean, you can price right at the bottom of the market and get a really fast sale. So, in a case like that, I'm not worried about sell-through rate at all. I don't even look at it, because if my buy cost is $1, I'm just going to price at the bottom of the market, and mine's going to be the next one to sell. So yeah, you can't lose at $1. Depop sales are great right now, but don't get used to it. It's because of the free shipping promo. Teenagers love free shipping. That's interesting. It's interesting. I don't know anything about teenagers, so it's good to know that. I'm excited to be in year 4 or 5, given what you're describing, because at that point you have the data reassures that you're doing things right, or something can change and get. Yep, definitely. Like, there's experience. The best teacher is mistakes. So I've been selling blazers now since it's been 5 full years, right? Yeah, it's been 5.5 years since I said in January 2021, I was like, hey, I really got to start learning this blazer section. There's so much opportunity here. Nobody's looking. There's never anybody in the blazer aisle. They're all just sitting there. I said, there's tons of money just sitting here. I just got to figure out what's the good stuff and what's the bad stuff and all that. So here I am 5.5 years into it, but the experience is the best teacher, if you ask me. Stubbing your toe hurts. Making bad buys hurts. It's painful, and that teaches. It's the best teacher, really, is just getting in there and doing it. But there are ways I think that you can expedite that learning too. There were a few creators I watched early on when I was starting to learn suits and blazers, but honestly, if they were out there, I didn't find the people who could really teach the best. They either weren't really good at selling suits and blazers, or they weren't good teachers, but they were really good at selling suits and blazers. I never found somebody that was good at selling suits and blazers and good at teaching. I just never found that creator. So I said, I'm going to learn it on my own. I don't need nobody, but I think there's ways to learn it faster. And I got something up my sleeve that I think will help with that, because I don't want you to wait 5 years before you get to the point where you can start selling maybe a couple hundred of them a year. How many items does your eBay store have? 1,385 as of this morning, I think. Do you pick up blazers made in Italy? Candy, it depends. When you're looking at a blazer or any item, right, you're looking at brand, sure, where it's made, color, style and pattern, material, and size, right? It's a formula. So you picked up one thing of the formula and said, Italy. I'm like, yeah, I might pick up some of those, but what's the rest of the formula? That's got to be what I need to make the decision on that item. Man, I get in a funk, and sometimes it takes me weeks to get back into things. We have so many projects going on right now. I don't know which way to go. So I just don't do shit. I mean, that's the worst. Sorry to hear that, but that's the worst thing for like productivity, is to just have too many different things to do, especially if those things are like widely different and take different energies. That's the worst thing. I would encourage you to like, you didn't ask for help, but I would say, are there ways that you can just say, listen, if you have 8 things on your list, can you just say, listen, these 5 things absolutely aren't going to happen this week, and just make that decision right now and say there's no chance. And now you got 3 left and you say, cool, that seems a little bit more manageable. Which one's first? And go attack the first one and then see, what time you have for number 2 and 3. But if you're at something like 10 or 8, there's just no way. Just you have to start by eliminating some of those things, get it to a more manageable thing. Like, okay, I have 3, which one's my priority? Knock out the first one and then see where you're at. If it's Wednesday and you still got more time, work on 2 and 3. Don't even think about 5, 6, 7, 8, if that makes sense. Not guessing. Yes, I'm with you on that. Dad's away. What should we talk about? What's up, Elliot? How are you? My blazer increased the price. My Goodwill increased price of blazers by $1 and suits $2, $8.99 for blazers and $12.99 for suits. Was very random. Also $1 more for coats. Bummer. Prices going up is a thing. That's a fruit fly. Get out of here. Get out of here. I spend a good amount of time matching up blazers to pants when I'm thrifting. It really pays off. I like that. Fiverr, that's the platform I was thinking about. That would be where, if you wanted to hire somebody to do that. But my previous statement on this topic still stands. I would not hire somebody to do your cross listing. It just don't make sense. But of course, everybody should do what's best for your business. Thank you, everybody, for the Fiverr recommendations. It's exactly what I was thinking about. So the pair of mother jeans for $145, new tags on Poshmark. Retail price was $205, picked up for $8. Freaking awesome. That's great. I'm guessing that those are like a wide leg or a boot cut or a flare. Desert, because Chris's videos. There you go. Fiverr, that's right. I just passed my 90 days doing reselling. I just started. I'm new at this. Wow, you got like you have like a vibe like you've been doing it longer than 90 days. So that's awesome. Good for you. Congrats on your success. That's great. Is it Fiverr? Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. Maybe Jack. Yep. What are your thoughts on Closet? What are your thoughts on Closet by Clark's and David Pelletier's wholesale business? Would you buy from them? I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'll just say this: I don't buy from those places. But there's got to be. But yeah, everyone's going to make their own decisions on what they think is right from the business. I don't buy from them. So hopefully that answers your question. I'll just leave it at that. Do you use the bulk AI lister tool? Yes, I do. What's the point of having Nifty if you weren't using the AI tool? I used Nifty before they even had the AI tool, and it was awesome. But yes, since they've added that AI tool and since they've made it so much better over the last 13, when they really start, I think I started using it about 13, 14 months ago. I think it was last May, maybe I started using it. It has come so far. It's gotten so much better. And that gives me so much excitement for what's coming over like the next 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 13 months as they continue to make subtle little upgrades that each time they make those updates, it just makes it a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. And it just stacks up, So true. Open up a suit and blazer rental shop. There you go. But then I'd have to have people coming into a storefront. I'd have to staff it. I'd have to talk to them. I'd have to be nice to them. I don't know. I don't think that's for me. Do you source at Plato's Closet? I do a little bit. Just added it this year and have been killing it. Cost of goods are higher, but the sell price. I do a little bit, but honestly, like the average time that I walk into a Plato's Closet, I probably walk out of there with 1 item, maybe 2. Like, I don't know that I've ever walked out with 5. So for me, investing the time into something that I know that is likely to give me 1 or 2 items, probably not the best use of time. And I just don't have a Plato's Closet. There's one in Asheville, but it's sort of out of my orbit, if that makes sense. I'm never really that close to it. And it's always just kind of like an annoying traffic pattern away from me. Is it in the Westgate Plaza? I think it's in the Westgate Plaza. Now I'm second guessing that, but it's just it's just out of my orbit, if that makes sense. So, and then when I'm traveling to thrift, I'll stop at one every now and again if I'm literally driving by it, but typically it gives me 1 item. So it's not really worthwhile. Where is that Plato's? This tells you how often I go to Plato's. I'm trying to remember where the one is in Asheville. Yeah, it's in Westgate. And it's such a pain for me to get to Westgate. It's not near any of the other stops on my normal patterns right now. So I just don't end up going there. Like I'm basically like due south of Asheville, like 25 minutes. And where Westgate Plaza is, where Plato's is, it's kind of like northwest. It's kind of like it's on the edge of like West Asheville and downtown. So it's just kind of a weird place for me to get to quickly. And I'm never driving by it like ever. So I just don't do it to make a separate trip there to get an item or two. Just doesn't make a lot of sense for me. Years back, we went to a Salvation Army. All shirts were 49 cents. I filled the heaping cart. I had 30 or more Brooks Brothers Western shirts, cool t-shirts, all before I wanted to deal with clothes. I feel that's a nice haul for that price. Found 2 Harris tweeds this week. That's awesome. I found 0 Harris tweeds all year. So you're at 2, I'm at 0 for the year. Nice job, Benjamin. You crushed me in one day. I found 0 Harris tweeds this year. I ended up selling on YouTube auction for $4 each. Wish I had them still. Nice. Well, you made quick money. I like it. Thanks to you, I sold a 44S Nautica Blazer to Puerto Rico. 10 into 50. Nice. Good one. Mother Jeans was skinny. I was shocked. That's interesting. I mean, people are still buying skinny jeans. It's just tough to get the premium price for them. Nice job. I need to buy more coffee, so don't get off this live before making me buy some more coffee. Buy it, Rob. I'll and just let me know down below in the chat when you do, and I'll get it shipped out for you with a big dose of gratitude. Nowadays, UK market and sales, eBay slower, not because I'm facing scaling my store in the UK market. Zohai, thanks for joining the live. I don't know the first thing about the UK eBay market. I've been to Ireland like 20 years ago. Maybe it was 18 years ago. I've never been to England, and I've never sold anything in that market. I just don't know. I'm just not sure. I can't really comment on it. What's the farthest you traveled specifically to thrift, considering traveling north to more affluent areas of my state? I've gone to Denver. I flew to Denver in December and thrifted. I flew to Tampa in, what was that? Did I drive? I drove to Tampa in December also. Last week I went 4 hours. I went to Roanoke. So it just kind of, depend. I mean, I like to mix it with some other things, right? Like to go to play, like visit a friend, go somewhere that I have wanted to visit. Like we went to Charleston, like we built a trip out of it. So that's how I kind of do things. But I also do like YouTube videos on it stuff too, so I can like educate and all that. What's been going on? Let's go, Ben, on whatnot. Since day one of Nifty launching. I've yet to make a sale. Any advice? Search for your items and see if they're showing up in search. Like just copy and paste one of your item titles and like search whatnot and see if they're showing up on search. That would be the first thing I would start with. I wish Nifty would have a bundle of just cross-listing and automation instead of separating them. I have 500 AI tokens that are going to expire. I wish Nifty would have a bundle of just cross-listing and automations instead of separating them. That's the bundle that I have. Just cross-listing and automations. That's the bundle that I have. $69.99 a month. That's what I have. What's up, MSG in the house? Good afternoon. Would you please talk about the items you pick from Oak Hill? I came across 10 plus blazers size 60L from the brand, plus multiple dress shirts and camp shirts. The best thing, fasting junkie, is to not listen to a weird guy on the internet with a beard like me and say, what do you pick up from these things? Because there's just not enough information. Like an item, you have to hold it in your hand because you gotta, what is the material? What is the size? What is the color? What is the pattern? All that stuff really matters. So for me to tell you like right here, here's what to pick up, I think would be disingenuous. I'd rather teach you how to fish. When you come across an item from Oak Hill, comp it, based on exactly what you're looking at. If it's a blue plaid blazer that's size 60L, comp it. If you come across a pair of pants that's 100% polyester, size 54, and they're solid black, just plug in all those filters, look at the sell-through rate, look at the average sale price, compare it to your buy cost, because that's one thing I'm not seeing on the screen right there. If it's $1, right, I'm going to probably pick up all of it. If it's, $2, I'm probably picking up all of it. If it's $3, I'm probably picking up most of it. If it's $8, I'm probably picking up none of it. So you gotta, that's my best advice, is just get out. I mean, just get out that phone and comp away, look at sell-through rate, look at the average sale price, because You're going to find differences in between size and color. You're going to find differences in sell-through rate and average sale price. So for me to like rattle off a list to you, that would maybe be disingenuous, because we're not taking into account your buy cost, and we're not taking into account those subtle little differences that can make a good buy good and a bad buy bad. So that's my suggestion. But the perk of reselling is you get to take road trips. That's right. My wife and I just went to Indianapolis and was able to get good food and some good garage sales. Nice. You're talking my language. You know I like that kind of stuff. I found a brand new Tags Viore polo at Peto's Closet the other day in Atlanta. I live in Florida, and it was clearance down to $3. Love that. Funny that a Viore would get down through clearance, like sneak past all those young folks that are shopping there. Plato's Closet in Asheville is near the Goodwill bins in Asheville. Yeah, kind of, but it's like it's the opposite way from my house, and I don't really go to that location very often, and I don't go to the bins. So, good morning, brother. Did the old peacock and look for the matching pants of Hugo Boss blazer at my local thrift. Let me read this and looked at the matching pants. Nice. Okay, I'm picking up what you're putting down. $15 blazer, $10 pants, $135 sale. Let's go. That's what I like to hear. That is what I like to hear. Share more of that. I love it, Josh. Good afternoon. Long time no chat. I'm off while taking care of my daughter with a broken, oh man, up by her shoulder. Gosh, that sounds like a mess. Sorry to hear that. Hopefully she's healing up really well. She is so lucky to have someone like you, such a good mom that can take care of her during a challenging thing. But oh my gosh, that's a lot. But yeah, let's get rolling on reselling. Let's get that money. Take your I hope she's healing up good though. Man, that sounds like no fun. But she's lucky to have you. So far, I use Nifty mainly for cross-listing and automation for Posh. Still makes the eBay listing using my ChatGPT setup. May need to explore the AI listing part. There's three things that you need to, I just held up two fingers. There's three things that you need to get good at this business. And you're probably already really good at probably all three of these things, but we could always get better on all three of these categories. Number one is finding good stuff out there, and like having a good sourcing system where you can find good stuff. Number two, you got to get good at selling stuff, right? You got to have really good listings, good photos, good, measurements, keywords, all that stuff. And number three, you got to build systems so that those first two things are really efficient and fast, right? So if you're using two different things, right? Like if you're using Cross GPT or Chat GPT and you're using NIF, or you still make the eBay listing. Oh, see, so what you're doing is your workflow, if I'm understanding this right, is you're putting a photo, I guess, of an item into Chat GPT, and you're having it tell you what the item title and item description is, I'm guessing. So then you're copying and pasting that information into eBay. You're creating a listing on eBay. Then you're going into Nifty, third thing. You're refreshing Nifty. It's pulling in that eBay listing, and then you're cross-listing it to other platforms. So kind of a three-part process with three different systems that you're going between. Not a bad deal. Like 3 years ago, that would have been probably a pretty efficient process for me based on what I was doing back then. But now all I do is I drop the photos into Nifty. It writes the item title, it writes the description. I look it over really quickly, and I push it out to all the platforms all at once. So instead of having 1, 2, 3 steps on 3 systems, 1 step, 1 system, and just keep on moving and grooving. So I think there's an opportunity. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but objectively, 1, 2, 3 cannot be faster than 1. So I would encourage you to figure out how can you make 1 work. And by the way, in Nifty, you can go into your settings for the AI settings. And if you have a certain, there's people probably in this chat right now that are like, I have a certain order in which my item titles have to be because somebody on the internet told me that that's the way that you're supposed to do it. So that for whatever reason, they're like, this is the way I have to do it. I think they're overthinking things personally. But you can tell Nifty, like, this is the order of operations that I want for my item title. Here's the things that I want to have in my item description. Like you can customize all that stuff. So for me, it's probably worth, instead of doing 100 more times of like 1, 2, 3, I would invest, like 30 minutes or 40 minutes into figuring out how to maximize that AI listing process, customize it for you, and then just start doing one thing, and just that one single process. That's my suggestion. take it for whatever it's worth. I'm not just saying this to you, Elliot. I'm also like, that's my suggestion to you, but also I'm saying it like out loud to other people. If you have this process that's multiple, multiple different logins and platforms to accomplish a task that can be done by one, I would encourage you to look for ways to find a little bit more efficiency there. I sold a Harris tweed this weekend. Nice. Thought it was too warm now, but I was wrong. I just shipped out a corduroy blazer. Was Roanoke thrifting good? I got a YouTube video coming out later this week, probably Wednesday or Thursday. I'll have it done being edited. I still got a lot of work to do on it, but I had a good time on the trip. I'll leave it at that. But if you want to learn more about it, you can watch the video. Thanks for the restaurant recommendations. Do you know how to advertise selling a bundle of clothing? I just acquired about 200 pieces, new tags, Brooks Brothers, Ralph Lauren, etc. Do you know how to advertise selling a bundle of clothing? Tell me a little bit more about what you're asking. I'm not really sure. Are you trying to sell all 200 pieces together? Like, what's the game plan? Tell me what exactly are you trying to do? Like, tell me tell me the outcome that you most desire, and we'll see if we can get you there. Some magazine company donated 300 plus Collars and Co. polos at a Goodwill near me. I bought them all 3. It was my craziest find so far. That's awesome. A magazine company donated them. That's interesting. Really cool find right there. I missed the thrifts in Nova. Nice. We like the beard. The people have spoken. There we go. Thank you, Chemo. You're kind. Not a Plato's Closet shopper. Spend maybe an hour in there and I might get one thing. Not worth it. That's kind of me, although I don't think I've ever spent an hour in one. I'll go in there. I'll spend 15 or 20 minutes. I leave with one item, and that's usually like the par for the course for me. My timing might be bad, though, because they do clearance sales. I should probably go when they do a clearance. I just don't pay attention to it as enough. I bought 4 items from you on Friday. They are currently out for delivery. I bought these because I saw how strict you are about the condition of items. Your YouTube videos are the best. Oh, well, thank you so much. What did you buy from me? That's really kind. Oh, a bundle of 4 items on Friday. Let me look. Well, thank you for your purchase. I'm just going to refresh my memory. We had some Poshmark bundles over the weekend. Wasn't there? Oh, there might have been an eBay one. Give me a second. Let me just remember this one. Paid and shipped. Just sold 2 items since we've been on the live. How about that? Let's go. Why is it not showing up? Let's see here. We sold 20 items on Friday, so it is a long list of stuff. I'm not seeing the bundle. You'd have to remind me, what was it? Maybe it's not showing me the bundle shipped together. Either way, I appreciate your business. That means a lot to me. That's really cool. I'm glad that you found me on YouTube, and I hope you love the stuff that you get. Sounds like it's out for delivery today, so pretty rad. I appreciate you. That's awesome. Where did I leave off here? Oh, I missed a couple comments. They call me Spencer's. What's up, Spencer? I have had a return on a blazer and suit. Both filed the return because it didn't fit. Have you had any did not fit returns on suits and blazers? I mean, yeah, I've sold. I mean, I've probably sold like 600 suits and blazers over the years. So I've definitely had do not fit returns for sure. But I don't find it to be any more or less than anything else. I get returns every single week. I didn't get any returns today. Usually on Monday, there's like 2 or 3 returns. So none came in today. No, none came in today. So that's good. What did I miss on questions here? Nailed it on my process. We'll explore the nifty interface for AI. And like anything, Elliot, give it some time, tinker with it, but just look at it as an investment. Like, okay, cool. If it takes you an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours to get, it's kind of like to dial your system. It's kind of like, what was it like Abraham Lincoln would say, give me an hour to chop down a tree and I'll spend 55 minutes I forget, sharpening the axe. Sharpen your axe, man. Because what that'll do is it'll save you time it'll save you probably minutes every single day, maybe hours. I don't know about hours, but it'll save you minutes every single day. So it's worth spending some time, tinker with it, play with the AI, ask the questions on what's that little bot called? The Autobot, OTTO on Nifty. Like, ask it some questions, figure out how to like dial in that system. even ask ChatGPT, right? Some ways that you can dial in a system in there, and see what you can get. It's worth spending an hour or so getting, honing your, sharpening your axe, so to speak. Has anyone else noticed that Poshmark automatically drops your price? I was going through some old listings and noticed that my price is not what I listed it elsewhere. I'm assuming it's not some wonky setting to turn off. I think Poshmark might have a setting like that. Like there's an auto. That's Mercari though. I don't know. Does Poshmark have a setting like that? I'll have to ask the chat. I'm just not sure. But it sounds like you have something turned on that shouldn't be turned on. I've never had that happen before, so I'm not sure. Thanks for the restaurant recommendation. Soprano Rooftop was great. Stop by Tunnel F's. Stop by Tunnel F's and found some great pieces as well. What's Tunnel F's? I'm glad you enjoyed Soprano. It's a cool rooftop. It's my second favorite rooftop view in Asheville. Now there's like a bunch of them. There was a time when there was like one rooftop bar in Asheville, and then there was all of a sudden there was a second, and now there's like 10 or 12 or something. It's crazy. But Soprano's my second favorite rooftop view. Good food up there too, huh? Cool space. I love how it's like indoor, outdoor. I'm glad you enjoyed your trip. That's awesome. Good afternoon. What's up? Closer to Homemade. I've had a couple of negative experiences on Whatnot as a buyer. Sellers doing a bad job explaining items and they come with defects. 100%. I very, very rarely buy used items on Whatnot unless it's a seller that I trust. And I'm lucky enough to be pretty plugged in with the reseller community. So I know a lot of people. I've been doing this a long time and creating a lot of content for it for a long time. So I know a lot of these people. And I very rarely buy used. I'm typically buying new items on Whatnot because more often than not, they are flawed items that weren't disclosed as flawed. And it's frustrating. I guess if you're buying it for yourself and it's got it's frustrating. It should be disclosed. I understand that I can get a refund, but it's just been a waste of time. Yeah, I think I answered that question. It's frustrating. Just return them. Whatnot has had by far the best buyer's experience for me that I've seen. Nice. A few sellers just have auto refund enabled. If you say that, not that you should have used that. Gotcha. All right, y'all been pummeling me with comments, and I am freaking here for it. But I got to ship some stuff out too. So let's keep the good vibes rolling. We've shipped 4 items. How about that? All right, let's go on a little run here. Let's get some good stuff out the door. I've been playing with J. Crew lately. I've been experimenting with J. Crew shirts. Grab this one, floral, men's size, large, tall. Look at that pattern. Long sleeve on this one. Listed it for $19.99. It sold for full asking price, $19.99. And it took, wait for it, how many days to sell? 1 day to sell. 1 day to sell. So that's pretty good. I like that experiment. I've probably listed like maybe 8 J. Crew shirts since I started this experience a couple of months ago, and I've sold 3 of them now. So not bad. All of them have sold for between $18 and like $21. So it's not like I'm making a killing off them. But you know me, I like to fill up the cart with these smaller items that can just kind of crank out consistently. Like J. Crew is probably never going to go out of style. A lot of brands kind of go up and down. You get a Viore, it hits and it cools off. Lululemon, it hits, it cools off. Rollback, hit, it's already cooling off. J. Crew, that it ain't going anywhere. It's kind of already gone through its big hit, cool off, and now it's just kind of got to be low and slow for a long time. Levi's, same thing. Wrangler, same thing. So I like learning about items like this because if I can figure out what sells from these really common brands, I can really commonly pick them up and really commonly sell them. Everyone loves the $100 bolos, but the reality is you just don't run into those $100 items all that often. I would rather know how to sell 200 items from J. Crew this year instead of like 2 unicorn items that I'm only going to find or a unicorn item that I'm only going to find once or twice this year. Like everyone wants to talk about like RRL and Purple Label. Those are items that I typically find on average twice a year. I would rather be able to find 200 of J. Crews that will actually flip than I would like to find those unicorns. And that's always been my thing. And the more I get into this business, the more it's like, I just want to reliably walk in and find common items that sell. J. Crew, like thousands of shirts are selling every single month on eBay. It's like, I just need to get a piece of that action. Don't get me wrong, I like the high end stuff too, but you build a business on finding the common stuff. By definition, rare stuff is rare, right? My experience with sellers on platforms is the same. Sellers don't describe it and arrives with flaws. It's why I try my best to describe everything. It keeps my customers happy. I like it. You do a good job, and that's just I think if you execute at a really high level in any business, it doesn't. You might not get that big flash in the pan that some sellers get by just by moving really fast and not really executing at a high level. You might not get that quick flash in the pan, but if you go low and slow and you execute really, really well, you're going to win in the long run. It's like the tortoise and the hare kind of thing. Thanks, Chris and Swiss. It's nice that you have good customer service, but just disappointing going to put my time to something else. I'd say don't give up on Whatnot sourcing. It's just sort of like anything. When you're new to anything, you're sort of figuring out the pitfalls. You're figuring out the opportunities. And you ran into some pitfalls. And what I would hate for you to do is now just sort of run away from a really great opportunity. Whatnot sourcing is great, but you have to you're like anything, you're going to have to make some mistakes. You're going to have to stub your toe, get frustrated, right? But use that as a lesson and be like, okay, cool. That's not the right seller to sell from. And maybe you start figuring out like, there's like certain themes of these sellers. You start seeing what they're up to and you're like, I get what's going on here. They seem a lot like that last seller, but there are sellers who are really honest on Whatnot. I bought stuff over the weekend from K-Way, right? And you guys are going to be like, well, you're his friend and you're trying to like pump his shows. I was in his shows. I saw prices that I liked on items I know I can flip for more money. So I bid on them. And I know that he's going to come through and those items are going to be in the condition that they were described. So, but I'm not pumping up his shows. I'm just telling you, like, my job is to tell you what I do and why. And I trust K-Way. I've bought hundreds of items from him on Whatnot over the years. And so when I saw a deal, I grabbed it. It's hard to get deals a lot of times on K-Ways Whatnots because you've got so many people in there. But I found a couple over the weekend and I grabbed them. If I was a live seller on Whatnot, I would be the same. I can't expect other sellers to be like that. Yep. What's up, Jared? Jared's in the house. Polka Kingping. What's up? First time catching you live. Like your experience on what to buy. Are you talking about J. Crew new or used? I see those all the time. New or used. The ones that I was specifically referring to were used pickups, but I do pick up some new ones. I ran into like a new Tags pair of wide leg women's pants the other day at maybe it was like 2 weeks ago at a thrift store. That was kind of cool, like super wide leg. But yeah, I like both. And Polka King, thanks for joining the live. Good to have you here. Are you also flipping online? And what kind of stuff do you sell? Let us know down below in the chat. But welcome to your first live. It's good to have you. I joined Nifty last month, $89.99 bundle. I added Poshmark and Depop to my platforms. I've had 2,000 extra sales on those two platforms so far. So $2,000 in extra sales in let's see, how long has this been? On those two platforms, just last month. So we're talking about a month and $2,000 extra in sales. That's amazing. That's really great results. I'm happy for you, Woody. I mean, just to give you some context here, for my store, I'm going to go to my platforms breakdown here on my spreadsheet. Last month, I did $6,786 in sales on Poshmark. That's my second biggest platform to eBay, right? 6,786 items sold on Poshmark, or $6,786.29 if you care. 138 items sold. Poshmark is huge. Cross-listing for my business cannot be underestimated. So just Poshmark alone has been good for $21,844 in revenue for me so far in 2026. And that's just that one platform. Huge for my business, that cross-listing. But of course, the built-in automation tools are the key. I'm going to drop a link down here. We've been talking about Nifty a little bit, and I haven't shared with you. Like, I have a link for a free trial if you want to check it out. And with this free trial, you can check it out for 7 days. If you like it after that 7 days, you'll get 15% off your first month if you decide to pay and sign up. But with that link, there's no obligation to sign up. You can just check it out. You can fiddle with it. You can start cross-listing items. You can start using the automation tools and see how it impacts your business in those first 7 days. First thing I would do, connect all those platforms, right? But turn on all your automation tools. You want the auto offers happening. You want the auto shares. You want the auto delist and relist. It's going to supercharge like the algorithm for you, right? And you're going to start to see things kind of take off a little bit. And it will be like a slow push of the throttle as the week goes on. And I think you're going to see some momentum in week one. You're going to see results while you're on your free trial. So I encourage you to check it out. That link is right down below in the chat. If you have any questions specifically about Nifty, let me know. I've been using it for over 2 years now. I guess I started in April of 2024. So what's that? 26 months. I promote Nifty. I promote Nifty proudly. I also pay for it every month. I use it every day. It is like built into the fabric of my business right now. And I've really enjoyed seeing how much it's gotten better over the past 26 months since I flipped over to it. So I dropped that link there in the chat. If you want to check it out, check it out. It's a free trial, no strings attached to it. Thank you. I will start buying them. I have 800 listings on eBay, Posh, and Mercari. You got a nice little business over there. Also dabble selling on Whatnot as a secondary option. We'll be married soon and we will have about 2,000 items. Let's go. Well, you got exciting times in your life and mostly clothing. Cool. Very cool. Thank you for sharing. I'm glad that you're here and it's good to have you as part of the conversation. That's cool. My difficulty is with Ralph Lauren pickups, era labels, fake versus real, etc. Gotcha. Some of that stuff is just going to come with experience, which means probably some research at first, right? Like looking up, just Google real versus fake Polo Ralph Lauren. Start, figuring out like which ones look real versus which ones look fake. But there's also like real versus fake specific to a brand, which you can learn. But there's also real versus fake that like kind of crosses over all brands, right? The quality of the stitching, does the sizing look off? Like, is the tag medium, but the thing looks like a 2 extra large? Like a lot of quality stuff. But once you like recognize, like at this point, I've sold probably, I don't know, probably thousands of Polo Ralph Lauren items. Like when I see something that's like different, I know it because I've just seen so many, right? And you start learning patterns, and it's like, oh wow, I've never seen a shirt like this before. I'm going to take a second to kind of look this thing over, kind of feel the quality. Is this tag look different than other tags I've seen before? It's like anything, it takes time. If I hired you in a kitchen, I grew up in the restaurant business. That's how I learned business. So I often make metaphors or similes to back in my time in the restaurant business. Like if you're newer to reselling and you're not comfortable with real versus fake, it's like the same thing as if I hired you to, in a kitchen at a restaurant. You're probably going to start off as the dishwasher. You're going to figure out being a dishwasher for a couple of weeks, and you're going to have the people show you stuff. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to drop stuff. You're going to not use the dishwasher right. You're going to put things in the wrong place. You're going to trip and fall or something, right? You're going to make a whole bunch of mistakes, and then you're going to get pretty good at it. And then eventually you're going to kind of move up, and someone's going to call out, and you're going to be a fry cook, because Joe called out, and you're going to make the same thing. You're going to go through the whole thing. You're not going to know what to do. Someone's going to have to help you a ton. You're going to make a whole bunch of mistakes, and you just got to keep learning. You don't become a chef in a day. And, when you're a chef, an executive chef, you're going to recognize all kinds of like new versus, real versus fake tags and all that stuff. But some of this stuff just takes time, and expecting to be able, you can't, what's the word? Like you can't pass that Monopoly reference. Can't pass go. You can't collect $200, right? Like you just got to build up the experience and do the research early on, and everything gets a little bit easier sort of as you move forward. You have to look up less, you'll recognize more, and it'll kind of be like you'll feel like you're kind of riding the bike downhill instead of riding uphill all the time. But when you're new, it's got to feel uphill. It's just the way it is. You just got to learn. How many items do you list per day to get that many sales? I list 70 to 80 per week. Cracks me up when you say, if you care. On my eBay, if you run sales, thanks, Michelle. I'm glad someone's getting a laugh out there. On eBay, if you run sales, just make sure you turn the auto offers on Nifty off while the sale is running if you don't want extra amount taken off. I love the combo of sale plus my 10% off offers. So I leave it on, but I see what you mean. That shirt brings out the beautiful eye color. Oh, you're such a sweetie, Surfs. What is it that you want? Did you text me asking me for a favor or something? What is it, man? What do you need? I can't do that. That's ridiculous. I'm not sending you a picture of that. What's Desert Drain? True. Nifty has been the best decision I made with reselling. AI listing, offers, and delisting has a lot more time to focus on building other parts of the business. It's like having an employee working in the background for you, sending those offers, sharing, delisting, and relisting. It's just all happening. And for me, the Nifty, I pay $69.99 for Nifty, which might sound like a lot, But when you consider the extra sales I get, usually on the first day of the month, the profits I get from the extra sales, thanks to Nifty doing all that stuff and cross listing and all that, pays for the entire 79, 69.99 subscription. I'll just use like a rough average profit of $15 per item. I just got to sell 5 items on Poshmark or through Nifty Best Offers or on Mercari, or from a delist and relist. So it's a stale item on eBay. I just need 5 of those sales in the first day. Boom, it is paid, more than paid for itself for the whole month. Now I got 29 or 30 days where I have a free employee just doing all this crap for me in the background. Not to mention how much time is Polka King just mentioned, how much time it saves you. The listing process, all I got to do is take the photos of the items. I drop them into Nifty. Nifty writes the item title, writes the description. I look it over, maybe have to tweak a thing or two, and I push it out to 4 platforms just like that. I mean, the time saved is incredible. So I can use that time to go hiking. I can use that time to edit YouTube videos. I can use that time to list more items, or spend time with the family, whatever. But that extra time also allows you to make more money, right? So you'll get more sales from Nifty, but you'll also make, you get more time to then make more money too. I couldn't reach 700 active listings across 4 platforms without Nifty. Sounds like a nightmare. Yeah, cross listing without a tool is not something that I would recommend. There would just be too much time listing and delisting and all that stuff. You Surf and K-Way are like 3 Stooges. I think that's a compliment because those guys are funny. That show is funny. Larry, Curly, and Mo. Who's Larry? Who's Curly? Who's Mo? All right, let's ship some freaking orders out. Y'all are crazy today. Y'all are crazy. Another get it out of the inventory sale right here. FootJoy. We already had one of these sell today. So this has a country club logo called Pound Ridge Golf Club. Never heard of that one before. This one sold for $13. It is a ugly bright orange pumpkin shirt right here. $13 plus $6.95 shipping. FootJoy has fallen off the face of the earth, but this hasn't been a slow fall. This is, FootJoy has been going downhill for 3+ years, and I still have some old ones hanging out. I lowered the price, still didn't sell. I lowered the price again. I took an offer of $13, gone out the door. If you're going to be in this business, you're going to have some. I consider this. I don't know. I sold it for $13. I paid $5. It's not a W, but it's also not a loss either. I didn't lose money, but it's not a good pickup at this point. And yeah, you're going to have these items. I think early on I wanted every item to sell for a lot of money and like a lot of profit, but you sort of gotta, you've got to be comfortable with the idea that some of these items you buy are going to be a mistake, and you're still going to have to move them, or you can wait for a million years and try to sell them at like $20. But honestly, it's probably not going to work. You can wait for the item to come back in style. I don't know, but that's got to be part. You have to have some sort of mechanism in your business where you're clearancing stuff out, just like every other retail store in the history of retail stores has a way to get rid of old items. Your business is no different than any of those other businesses. You might think that it should be, but you're no different than anybody else. Collars & Co., brand new. This one's brand new without tags. Bought these off Whatnot, by the way. And $37.99. I bought 80 something or 90 of these off of Whatnot from one seller, a seller that I trust, a seller that I've bought from a number of times before. So I knew when they were described as new with tags or new without tag, I knew that I was going to be getting stuff that wasn't damaged. And I knew there wasn't going to be any games with it. So that's the thing about Whatnot, is you learn. And, but that means I had to buy from some sellers that maybe weren't as detail oriented or weren't as honest in order to finally run into some people that are good. I'm going to drop I have a link where you can sign up for Whatnot and get free $15 in credit. So why not share that with you right there? Boom. So if you click that link, if you're not already signed up for Whatnot, you can sign up for Whatnot and you'll get a $15 credit so that you can go and explore and see how it works. And you probably get something for free, because a lot of, the idea of Whatnot is it's an auction website where things sell quickly and usually cheaply. So for that $15, you might be able to get a couple of items from a seller for free. So there you go. That link is down below in the chat. If you're watching on Instagram, I can't put links in the chat, but you can click on my name and you can find that same $15 Whatnot link. All you got to do is hit the link, sign up, and you'll get the $15, just like that. K-Ways, totally Mo. I'm going with Surfs for Curly and you for Larry. Got it. You guys are funny. We have the opposite problem. Hey, Desert, Pizza Scrap, and Mendy. Love y'all. Surfs in the house, just shaking hands, kissing babies. My only problem with Nifty is it made me so efficient. My only bottleneck is increasing the amount I source every day and every. It's a good problem to have. Salt, you're crushing it over there, brother. You are crushing it. Next up is an order for Joseph. This is a good one. Another fall sale right here. This is one of those sneaky. Oh, you're not going to be able to see the label the way I folded it. You have to take my word for it. This is a saddlebred corduroy blazer. Where's the outside? You know what corduroy looks like. It's a brown, like a light brown corduroy, and that's the inside liner. Is that plaid right there? So I picked these up pretty consistently. It's been a consistent seller in my store over the years. Typically, these sell right around the $40 mark. So this one actually sold for $39.99, and I spent $7 for it. So profit on this one's probably going to be right in the low 20s, low to mid 20s, but we'll look exactly at these order details. So eBay is going to pay me out after fees, after the shipping label, $31.42 is what eBay's paying me out. I paid $7 for this item. So my profit's going to be $24 and change. If you want to subtract 15 cents from, the clear bag and the shipping bag and the shipping label, all my shipping supplies typically add up to about 15 cents per sale on average, some less, some more. But not bad, $7, get a $24 profit. And it's the middle of the summer and we're shipping out 2 corduroy blazers. Surfs, what you think about saddlebred corduroy blazers, my man, my brother? Two cords going out the door. You guys are hilarious. Love it. Fun. You got to have some fun, right? What's the point if you're not having fun doing it? Finally upgraded to Nifty Auto, and you're right. Total Game Changer sold 20 items yesterday. Side Hustle Sibby, crushing it. Older listings being refreshed gets that inventory out of the closet. Huge weapon. Huge weapon. Those delist and relist, those old items that are so low down in search results that no one's ever going to get down there. But Nifty will automatically every single day relist those items. Let's take a look at what's going on under the hood with Nifty like right now. I'm going to go into my automation and just I know there's some people in here who know exactly what's going on with this automation. If you do, kind of share some of your numbers down below in the chat. But I'm going to share my screen here. It's going to be a little peek in a second. Boom, boom. Ooh, I'll get this. It's covering me up. There's a little peek down in the corner. All right. So this is my dashboard for Nifty. You can see I'm under the automation tab on the left-hand side. This is how many times today that it is shared items. Here we go. It just went from 2,666 to 2,667. We'll probably see it change, or it goes to 8. It's relisted 5 old stale listings. So ended them and then created a new listing. And it's done 363 community shares so that it's sharing other people. So then those people then come and they probably have bots and they're sharing my stuff too. So this is creating a whole bunch of activity, which is really good for the algorithm. You can see it's just happening all day. I think it's set for, 8,000 times a day it's going to share my closet. We can also see it sent 22 auto offers. So I have it programmed so it's sending 10% off offers. So 22 of them is already sent today. I've followed 500 people and 11 reciprocal follows. Again, activity. These platforms crave activity. eBay, it sent 10 offers. It's recreated 19 old listings just today. So items that are 30 days old, ended them, created a brand new listing. They have a brand new item URL and a brand new item number. So it shows up in eBay as a new listing. So it's going to get a bump in search results because it's new. And it does that every single day. Today, we're already at 19. Mercari, it sent out 0 offers. It's relisted 13 old items. Again, same idea as it's getting a new listing. So it's going to get a little search bump at the beginning. And that's a way that you can continue to cycle through old inventory. So this is like that automation thing. It's happening behind the scenes all day, every day. And let's see oh, that's not what I wanted to click. You can see the offers that it's sent today on eBay. This is what's gone out the door. So it is sending these offers constantly to people. I'm just looking for the last one that sold from an offer on here. None of those. So none of the offers today landed so far, but they still could. These offers are still all active. So we'll see. Every day I usually get a couple of sales from those auto offers right there. So huge piece. I was talking to a buddy of mine that I see at the thrift store locally here in Asheville. I bump into him all the time. We were just kind of chitty chatting about some business the other day. I think it was Thursday, maybe it was Friday, and we were he was asking a little bit about Nifty, and then I was talking about the offers, about how big of a weapon that is for my business, and he was like, "Oh, I like to send my own offers," and I was like, "Well, hold on, let's unpack that for a second. So let's say you and I have the same pair of pants listed on eBay, and I have Nifty and I turned on my auto offers. So that a person goes and looks at yours, hits the watch button. They look at my pants, they hit the watch button. Well, you're probably not going to notice that you have a watcher for maybe a couple of 3 hours as you're going through your day, you're doing your business, you're sourcing, whatever. So then you notice it 3 hours from now, you're going to send that person an offer at 10% off, right? To try to close the deal. Smart business move to do that. You don't want to let an interested buyer off the hook. Well, my thing already sent them an offer 2.5 hours ago or 2 hours and 50 minutes ago. And the person already accepted the offer and I've already shipped the item by the time that you got around to actually sending them that offer. So I'm like, the idea of like being in control of your offers, I'm like, just set your pricing so that you have 10% wiggle room on any single item in your store. So that if you're sending that 10% off offer, you're not concerned about losing money or whatever. Just price it right at the beginning with 10% wiggle room. Turn on those offers and get more sales. I'm like, remember, you're competing with me. We're buying some of the same stuff at the thrift store. You have the same stuff in your closet, in your store. You want those auto offers on because the AI, Nifty's beating you to the punch on those offers. There's no way you're going to be faster than the machine. Certain things are better for humans to do. Certain things are better for machines to do. Sending 10% off offers 10 minutes after somebody watches or likes an item, that's a better task for a machine than a human. The machine's going to get it right every single time. It's never going to be 11 minutes. It's never going to be 15 minutes. It's never going to be 2 hours. It's never going to be 9% off. It's never going to be 15% off. It's always going to be 10% off. It's always going to be 10 minutes. And you can set it for whatever you want, 5% off, 7% off, whatever. Certain things are better for machines to do. Delisting and relisting, better for a machine to do than a human. Sourcing inventory at a store, humans still better than machines at that. But who knows where we'll get at some point. So to me, just think about all those tasks that machines should be doing for you because they're better than you at it. And that's what I was saying to them. Like, if you do Nifty, you got to turn the auto offers on because it's also like algorithmic stuff too. You want those offers constantly happening. People get notifications when there's an offer out on an item that they already watched. It gives them another notification. They might come in back and buy that item. It also helps items show up higher in search results because there's active offers. So that eBay is like, okay, cool. This item has active offers on it. It's in demand. So it pushes it up in search results. And you want all that stuff to happen, especially if you're building a store at scale. You need stuff to sort of be moving out the door constantly. And having the machines do certain machine tasks, I think is really smart. At what point is a newbie motivated, Mama? I don't think that you're there yet. And that's just me being honest with you. You said, I think that you're at like 20 sales, which is awesome. I want you to get to 150 items actively listed on one platform and the 75 items that you've sold and shipped out the door. And the reason I want you to do that is because there's going to be so much learning that's going to happen. And you're going to get so much better at one platform, which I think you're on eBay. You're going to get so much better at that one platform. And you're going to get better at picking items. You're going to get faster at listing. You're going to get better with your photos and all that stuff. I really want you to focus on your fundamentals. Good listings, good photos, good keywords, measurements in all your listings. I want you to get really good at that first. There's more to be gained by getting good at the fundamentals and then adding a tool like Nifty, which is going to automate some stuff and duplicate your efforts, right? But if you have mediocre listings with mediocre keywords and mediocre photos, and you have Nifty cross-listing, all it's going to do is it's going to take that eBay listing that's mediocre and it's going to duplicate that on other platforms. I don't want you to be mediocre. I mean, that'll help your sales. Don't get me wrong. I would rather you get your fundamentals to excellent and then start duplicating excellent listings onto multiple platforms because that's when you're going to see really great results. If you have mediocre listings cross-listed elsewhere, also mediocre, then you're going to get mediocre results, maybe just more mediocre results. You'll still see results. So that's my challenge to you, is get yourself to 150 active listings and 75 items that you've sold, packed, and shipped out the door, because there's a lot of lessons there. It sounds like you got about 50 or so sales to get to that like 75 number. You're going to learn so much in that process, and you're going to kind of dial some things in and get a little bit better. So that's my suggestion to you. And if you have 150 items in your store and you've already sold 75, it's probably time to add those extra platforms, because the extra platforms comes with complexity. You're gonna have to learn how to ship on Mercari. You're gonna have to learn how to ship on Poshmark. You can learn all those things. I just think it's like early on to try to like learn all those things at once. Space it out a little bit. Get really good at one platform and then move on from there. I've found 4 saddlebred corduroy blazers since I've learned about them from you, including a new one, and haven't sold one yet. Well, I think you got to get good at 3 things, brother. Salt, finding good items, selling good items, like your sales strategy, and then 3 like efficient systems on how to, to scale both of those things. So it sounds like you are as good as me at sourcing blazers, but maybe you need to get better at selling the blazers. Like, take a look at those photos. I don't know, I haven't looked at your store, but my guess is if I'm out selling you, there's probably a reason that my sales strategy is probably just a little bit more dialed than you. So that's my challenge to you. If I'm selling them and you're not, then you should be asking yourself why. And the why is, it's not because I'm a creator. That's not why I'm outselling you. It's outselling you because I dialed this strategy, and I share it with you every single day. The biggest difference Nifty has done for me is Poshmark. I've never sold so much there as I have since I got Nifty last month. I'm glad to hear that. The big reason for that, I had the same experience the first time that I got an automation tool. So I had a cross lister. I started cross listing back in 2021. I think it was like September or August or September of 2021 is when I first got a cross lister. It wasn't Nifty because Nifty didn't exist then. And Poshmark was just really flat. Like, I wasn't really having success. And then somebody told me, look, you need automation for Poshmark, because Poshmark craves all that social stuff, the sharing, the follows, delisting and relisting and all that stuff. I'm like, Poshmark craves that. They said, get the automation tool. You'll see. You'll start seeing an increase in your first month, but month 2, once you get like Poshmark ambassador status and like all that sharing and stuff has happened for a full month, or like the second month that you have an automation tool. Back then we called them Posh bots. And now second month you have it, you're going to see your Poshmark store take off. And that's exactly what I saw happen. I saw a better first month, and then the second month was like crazy. It was like 3x what I was experiencing prior to that. So I'm not surprised that you had that same experience. Poshmark craves that activity, and more so than even all the platforms crave it. Poshmark craves it the most. It's like an activity, like the Cookie Monster. It's an activity monster. It just wants all that activity. It craves it. A lot of my sales didn't auto delist on Whatnot with Nifty. Is this a common issue? You just want to go in and check. Here's what I'll show you exactly how to troubleshoot. I think I know exactly what's going on. And so just watch. I'm going to bring up my Nifty. You can bring up yours and we can compare. Internet slow. Here it is. Okay. So you're going to want to go into, let me just share my screen. That's not what I wanted to hit. Okay. So this is my inventory dashboard, but what you want to go to is settings down in the corner. I guess it's kind of hidden right here. Let me get rid of this. There we go. So down here in the corner where it says settings, click on that. And you're going to want to make sure that, first of all, that your Mercari is signed in right here. If you're not signed in, you need to get re-signed in. Every now and again, Mercari automatically kicks out anything that's logging in through their API. API is just a fancy way of saying like a backdoor into a system. So Nifty has a backdoor into Mercari, which Mercari lets them in through the backdoor. They have the key. So the API allows them in. But what happens is Mercari's API like automatically kicks out anybody who hasn't logged in like over the last 30 days or 45 days, whatever it might be. So Mercari will kick out Nifty, just like it'll kick out any cross lister or any tool accessing the API. So you'll just have to go back in and click back in. I'm assuming that that's what your issue is. If that's not your issue, then the next thing that you want to go to do is sale detection. See where it says under inventory, sale detection. Click there and make sure that all your auto delists are turned on. So Poshmark, eBay, Mercari, and whatnot are all turned on. If something's not cross, so that's probably one of those two things is your issue, and it's just something that you just got to go quickly fix. Let me know if you have any follow-up questions to that. But that's not a Nifty thing. That is a Mercari thing. It kicks Mercari out, or it kicks Nifty and anybody else out if you haven't like re-logged in every like 30 or 45 days or whatever it might be. I don't know what the exact cycle is. Probably you were sleeping. The offer was sent. Yeah, exactly. That too. Hello, Chris. What does your formula look like when you pricing an item with the 10% profit, shipping, etc.? Trying to think of the best way to answer this question. It's a great question. I look at the recent sales on eBay. I look at the sell-through rate, and I determine. So, if it is a low sell-through rate item, I'll price it below the average market price. So if its average market price is $25, but it's got a low sell-through rate, I maybe price it at $23. If average market price is $25, but it is 100% sell-through rate, I might price at $27, just above the average, right? And that's how I price my items. Hopefully that helps. It's probably price about the blazers. Probably price is one of the most important things. Price, photos, keywords, and then of course you get into automation and promotion strategy. Those things are really important too, but price is really, really important. I'll be back and let you know when I hit 150 listings and 75 sales, hopefully sooner than later. Yeah, and like get there when you get there. I don't think Nifty should be like the goal. I think the goal should be, crushing, but Nifty is a tool to get you to wherever you want to go. But I appreciate your enthusiasm. I sold for a few years on eBay before moving on to Poshmark and Mercari. Once I figured them all out, then I got Nifty to help. I like it. Smart move. Corderos sell in the fall. Nifty makes sense for someone who does this part-time and does not list every day and does not go to thrift stores every day. Absolutely. I think Nifty is a great tool for part-timers. One can make an argument that it's even better for part-timers because by definition, part-timers have other priorities, things that are taking up your time and pulling your time and attention away from eBay and Poshmark, as they should, right? Because that's why they're priorities. Your faith, your family, maybe your full-time job, maybe you're a caretaker for somebody. You have these other priorities that are more important. We all do, that are more important than our business. But when you're full-time, my business is a little bit higher up the priority list probably than you. So I can pay more attention to some of these things as the day goes on. But you probably can pay less attention because you got these other things, that are rightfully taking your attention. I think Nifty is great for part-timers. But at some point, has to be, if you have 5 items listed at any given time, well, is it going to make sense to spend $70 a month for the full bells and whistles Nifty program? No, because, how many extra sales are you going to get a month from it, right? But if you have 150 listings, it's very reasonable to expect that a tool like Nifty is going to help you get 10, 12, 15 extra sales per month out of the 150 listings. And if that's the case, all you need to do is sell 5 extra listings a month at a $15 average profit, and you're going to make $75 additional profit, which is going to pay for the $70 subscription fee, right? So at some point you need to have enough items where you can break even. At 150 items, without looking at anybody's store, but if you're at 150 and you're doing things reasonably right, you're taking reasonably good photos, you have reasonably good keywords, you're picking up reasonably good items that are in demand, at 150 listings, just by cross-listing and automation, you're probably going to get, I don't know, another 15, 20, 25 sales just by having your items open to a bigger audience, but also those automation tools that are helping you show up higher in search results. So if you sell 25 extra items out of your 150 item inventory, if you're making an average of $15 per item on profit, look at that extra profit. That'd be 25 times 15. That's $375 in extra profit. And then if you subtract your $69.99, which is the all bells and whistles plan from Nifty, you're left with $305 extra at the end of the month. And that's the only math that matters, is at the end of the month, do you have more dollars than you otherwise would have? And having $305 more because you invested $70 into a tool, to me, that is brilliant math because you've paid for the tool and you have an extra $305 in your pocket and you're moving through inventory. And yeah, I don't know. So to me, something like 150 or more makes sense. But if you got 20 items listed or 30 items listed, does paying $70 a month for Nifty make sense? Probably not, but maybe. You'd have to sell 5 extra items a month to break even. Maybe it would work, but you'd be pretty close. 150, I think there's no argument there. I think you'd be good. Here's a new problem for you. If you were trying to ship a Caravelle two-piece suit, but the pants aren't on the hanger with the blade, here's a new problem for you. I'm trying to ship a Caravelle two-piece suit, but the pants aren't on the hanger with the blazer. Oh, you can't find it. Oh, that stinks. Sorry, brother. Depop is catching up to Poshmark for me. Seems like a big missed opportunity to not sell on Depop. I like to hear that your reasoning for that. It's been a huge uptick after eBay purchased a company. So, Brandon, I'm glad that you're having success with Depop. That's freaking awesome. I sold on Depop for years. And then like 3 years ago, I pulled the plug on Depop because, and we already talked about this earlier on, so this is like, I'll just be quick about this, but every single day I post multiple pieces of content on 4 social media platforms: Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. So I have notifications coming from those 4 platforms constantly, messages, comments, you name it. So that's happening. I also sell on multiple platforms. I also have my own website, chris@peak.com, that I sell on. So there's a lot going on. I have apps, editing tool apps. So it's like my dashboard for things and stuff is a lot. And it's probably more than like the average reseller just because of the social media stuff. And the coffee business on top of that too. So, at some point I had to say, like, look, I have too many things to log into. I have too many notifications, to deal with every single day. I need to get rid of some of the things that aren't like a great use of my time. At that time that I made that decision, Depop was like less than 5% of my sales. And all those items that sold on Depop, they would have just sold on another platform anyway, because I'm already on Mercari, eBay, Poshmark, whatever. I also sell on Amazon, by the way, too. So that's a whole nother freaking can of worms. So I just had to make a decision, and it's just a business decision. So I got rid of Grailed, I got rid of Depop. At that time, I got rid of Mercari. I since added it back, but I got rid of those: Grailed, Depop, and Mercari. I dropped at that time. I dropped Facebook Marketplace too. I dropped 4 platforms because all those platforms were adding up to like less than it was like 15% of my sales, and I was like, cool, I can get some attention back and some things not to worry about. And that's why I made the decision. But everybody has their own business decision that they have to make. I'm guessing that the construction of my business is a little bit different than yours, Brandon. I think what I've heard from a lot of people are having success right now on Depop. I've heard, though, that they're doing like a free shipping promotion, and maybe that's part of it. But I'm not on Depop, so I can't speak to it. But I usually don't make decisions in my business based on like a good month of Depop that a bunch of people have. Be like, Brandon, holler at me in like 6 months. Is Depop beating Poshmark 6 months from now still? Then maybe there's a conversation. But I usually don't make like kind of quick changes, and it's just a preference thing. Like I'm not like a jump on the next wave kind of guy. I just got so many different moving parts that I try to stay like pretty consistent and flat and make decisions, for the long term. Not like, can I get like a bunch of sales this month? Doesn't mean it wouldn't be a good idea for someone else to say like, Depop's hot, let me put all my stuff on it. I think it's probably a good decision for a lot of people, but for me, it's just like, if I made a lot of decisions like that all the time, my business would be hectic. Does your blazer pricing vary by brand? Does just anything sell for? Blazer pricing is going to vary by brand, material, size, pattern, style, right? So yes, is the answer to your question. It all depends on the item. I don't look at like every blazer is like its own thing, just like any like item. I can sell one item from a brand like Howard Brothers and it's a shirt and it could sell for 40. Another one could sell for 70. It's because the pattern's more in demand or the style. So just like anything, my keywords and photos are good and promoted, so I got to be priced. There you go. Maybe it's price. It's mentioned it's the buying culture and the lack of binding offers. Very understandable. Yeah, the offers thing is like ridiculous. They invited me to come back on the platform. And I told them I will be back the day that you launch binding offers on Depop. I'll be back and I'll talk all about it on social media. And why not just ignore their offers? There's free shipping on the platform. Yeah, I think I sort of like explained this thing through. Like I have a lot of different moving parts in my business, and I've made a business decision to limit the number of things. At some point, there's a lot of diminishing returns, right? So I've made a business decision on it, but I don't make business decisions on like a platform being hot for a month. I'll make a business decision based on a platform being hot for 6 months. I think that's a different sort of conversation, but I just don't jump on waves that much. I just can't. I have too many things going on. it's really, really hard for me to stay consistent at putting out YouTube videos, at putting out reels, at putting out photo posts multiple photo posts every single day. I'm watching a new I'm working on a new educational tool revolving around Blazers. So I have a lot of plans. I never get everything done. Getting emails out for my for my coffee business and scheduling those. So always not enough. I'm always leaving things undone every single week. So for me, like adding more things is actually a bad business decision. And now that we're talking about this, thank you, Brandon. For me, it probably actually makes sense for me to drop some things because of what I just said. I have undone things every week. I have a checklist that never gets completed. And oftentimes the checklist is pretty important stuff. So more important to me than a couple extra sales a month on Depop, frankly, just the stuff that I'm working on. Not to belittle Depop or your business on Depop, but some of these things that are left undone from last week specifically would be better for my business long term than a couple extra sales on Depop. And that's just the reality of things. So if anything, I should be on the less platforms, not more, because your experience isn't everyone's. That's right. I've sold over 30 items on Posh since I started Nifty and Posh. I only have 180 items on there so far. I've sold over 30 items on Posh since I started Nifty and Posh. I only have 180 listings. That's awesome. What's holding you back from getting everything listed over there on Poshmark? Should be a really quick process for you, but that's really great early results. I would be really encouraged by that if I were you. I myself sell on Depop, but at the same time, Depop has all the issues that we may discuss. Yes, there's no perfect platform out there, by the way. I retracted the blazer comment. I found the correct suit right after I typed it. Nice. I'm glad that you got that little W there. Also sad to say, if you're telling people to just ignore offers on Depop, I struggle to believe sales are good. Depop for myself and other sellers all get bombarded by offers. It's the Depop way. It's their culture is what they told me. There is a culture of offers that never intend to be ever accepted or paid for. That's what I was told by a rep there. Depop and Vinted are free shipping. Those are my two biggest sellers. Nice. Time is money. I'm facing a similar decision right now. I hear you. It's the age all in any business that you're in, right? You have to make a decision about how best to invest your time. And those are the things that I'm always thinking about. And I've said this a million times. My business is held together by duct tape, bubble gum, toothpicks, right? I know a lot of you, you watch me, and some of you have watched me for years on social media talking about my business, but that doesn't mean I have everything figured out. I'm constantly in a place of refiguring things out and challenging beliefs that I had from before, right? And you could probably hear it in my voice. You could probably see the smoke coming out of my ears as I was talking about the Depop thing, and somebody is talking to me about adding Depop, which that's the difference between advice giving and actually sitting down and professional coaching, right? Because and I think he's in a good place. He was giving, he's having success with Depop. He wants me to have success with Depop too. I respect that a ton. I have no issue. I'm trying to remember. Is it Brandon? Brandon. I have no issue with Brandon. So if you're out there, Brandon, I think that in general, right, this advice to a reseller who sells clothing, I think is actually pretty good advice. Depop's hot right now. If you're not on Depop, you might want to consider getting on Depop because I'm crushing it right now. Actually, generally speaking, I think that makes a lot of sense. But it's not going to make a lot of sense for everybody, right? And there's going to be people on the fringes where, that doesn't make sense. And in my case, the fringe is I got all this other business stuff going on. To me, Depop, that win isn't as important as some of these other wins that I'm not getting right now because I haven't had enough time to finish, the projects, if that makes sense. So, but generally speaking, I think that's pretty good advice. So I want people to hear that, right? Depop is hot right now. I'm not just hearing it from Brandon. I'm hearing it from a variety of people, including, some people that I trust very deeply in the reselling game. Like Depop is hot right now. And if you're not on Depop and you have a cross-listing tool like Nifty, now might be the time to, to give it a try or to give it a try. I'm just saying for me and my very specific, very different sort of fringe, they call that like a fringe, case study or a fringe. What's the word I'm looking for? Example. I'm not the normal, I'm kind of my business is just different and the way I spend my time is different. So not better, different. So I think that's why there's a difference between sort of advice giving and coaching. Advice giving can be right a lot of the time, but also wrong a lot of the time too. But if you get to know somebody's situation, it might be oh yeah, I guess it probably doesn't make sense for you to add a bunch more platforms, get back on Grail, Depop, whatever. There's no right or wrong answer to this sort of stuff, but I generally think that maybe it is time for a lot of people to consider Depop right now. I'll say I had a pair of Aeropostale vintage sweatpants on Depop. I constantly got offers on that thing. Only one ended up actually buying, but it got annoying. I hear that. I get a lot of annoying things every day, by the way, too. There's a lot of you people who are awesome supporters, engage in great conversation with me on social media, on posts, on videos, on YouTube videos, here on the live. The balance of it is like people are awesome. 99% of people awesome, but the 1% is a lot of negative, dumb, stupid, annoying comments that I get across 4 platforms every single day. Some weeks a lot more than others when you have stuff going viral. So to me, to add more annoying things is not something that I'm looking for. And like annoying things is like offers that nobody ever intends in paying for. That would be an annoying thing, which would be, I get a lot of annoying things. And I think a lot of you see that, right? You're on the internet and you see that content creators can get bombarded with crazy lunacy sort of comments and messages and DMs. It's insane. And it's annoying, and sales pitches, constant sale pitches in the DMs and all that stuff. A lot of annoying stuff comes back at you when you push out a lot of stuff to the world. It's just the way it happens. It's only 1%, but 1% when you have millions of views a month, the 1% of annoying is plenty of annoying. I want to add more annoying. Toddler schedule is holding me back from cross listing to Poshmark. Also, I only have less than 400 listed on eBay. Nice. You'll get there. I know you will. Thanks for the response. I was just curious. I'd argue the time saved from a shipping label in your email inbox is worth the extra platform if you already have Nifty. Nifty changes everything. Nice. We don't disagree, man. Just in like different, just kind of, we're playing the same game. We're just sort of like on different parts of playing different positions, maybe, I guess would be the right metaphor. Oh my God, yes, same for me. Carhartt double knees. If I get 5+ offers and no sales, and no matter if to message them or not, but a basic Nike t-shirt, full price and no issues. There you go. I've noticed that too. The less popular item is so funny to me. Interesting stuff. Y'all are great. None of you are part of the annoying 1%, by the way. I want y'all to know that. Except for maybe Desert Rain. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just totally kidding. Let's ship some freaking items. What am I doing here? I said I was just going to get on a groove, and I definitely did not get on the groove. Y'all are chatty today. All right, we finished off with that Saddlebred Blazer. Bread and butter piece right here, but a nice quick sale. Big size on this Brooks Brothers here. And in an in-style pattern, 10 days on this sale. So Brooks Brothers, men's size 19 by 38.39. 19 by 38.39. Measures like a 3 extra large. Look at that vertical stripe pattern. A couple years ago, this pattern was really slow, and I really stopped picking them up in most brands. But now this is back. It's like Y2K preppy look right here with a blue, white vertical stripe thing. They've been selling really good for me in a lot of different brands. So grab this one for $5, and it sold on a nifty best offer for, wait for it, $19.79 on the nifty best offer on that thing. Did I say 9 days to sell? 10 days to sell? I don't even remember what. 10 days to sell. So that's a nice quick sale. Haven't even paid the credit card bill on this pickup. I'm gonna put it in a slightly bigger bag. It's a big shirt. So haven't paid the credit card bill. Got the profit in the bank account. I like that kind of stuff. Turn and burn. Move on to the next one. Not gonna make a ton of profit on this piece. Probably gonna be somewhere's around $10 profit. But those bad boys start adding up. Just from this one brand, Brooks Brothers. Let's just see how many Brooks Brothers pieces I've sold. And not all of these were $10 shirts. Some of these were suits and blazers and stuff. I've sold 50 Brooks Brothers items so far in 2026. So even if all of them were $10 profit items, that's $500 in profit right there, which ain't bad. But obviously, some of those are suits and blazers, which are a lot more. So my guess is that I've probably made, I don't know, $800 or $1,000 in profit on Brooks Brothers so far this year. And it's by far not the only brand I sell. But bread and butter stuff, I find it really consistently. If you know the right stuff to pick from those brands, you can make some pretty steady money, but you're not going to get rich. Even $1,000 isn't really that much money. But when you stack it onto how many, 100 other brands do I sell on a regular basis, it starts to really start making math sense. Here's an interesting one. I love picking the stuff from common, not so high sell-through rate brands. I like picking up the best of it. So right here, if you watch my Atlanta thrift YouTube video, I picked up 8 of these Adidas 3-stripe golf polos. They're all size 4 extra large. I think 6 of them, let me get this right. I think 5 of them were blue and 3 of them were red, or maybe I have it the other way. So anyway, I listed the 8 in 4 different bundles. So this is a bundle where I did a black and a blue. I also have some bundles where I did 2 blacks, whatever. This sold for a nifty best offer of $40.49. And I paid $6.25 a piece for these at that Atlanta Goodwill. I don't typically pick up Adidas polo shirts. They tend to be more like a $15 seller. And when I'm typically paying $5 a piece for most shirts, there's just not a lot of profit there. But the fact that it had that like three stripe pattern, the fact that it was a size 4 extra large, I was like, I bet you I can get, like basically on average, like $20 to $25 a shirt on these, especially if I can bundle them up. So this is the second bundle to sell. The first bundle sold for $45 on Poshmark. So far I'm looking at $85 worth of revenue. My total buy cost on these was 8 times 6, $50. So my total buy cost was $50 on the 8 shirts. I'm already looking at $85 of revenue, and I still have 4 of these left. So I'm in the green, and I still got some left. These took, they didn't sell as quick as I thought, but I sold one just a couple days ago, one bundle, and I just sold the second bundle. So maybe we're going to get on a roll. 72 days. So 72 days, I'm in the green, and I got 4 more to sell, which are just 2 more bundles. So I'm feeling good. Once you get that one sale, it's like, cool, proof of concept. $45 I spent, those 2 cost me $12.50 total. I sold it for $45. I'm like, cool, proof of concept. This is going to work. Now I sold the second one. Now I'm in the green. Now the rest is just pure profit. I like it. For a little bit, I was like, ooh, maybe that was a bad buy. Maybe that's not going to work. But it is now a thumbs up, 100%. I'm all for it on that. Next up is an order for, and I see your questions and comments, and I'm going to get right back to them. But I'm also going to ship some stuff out real quick. Get a little bit of a rhythm here. Next up, brand new tags, Bad Birdie. You already know I had dozens and dozens of these. They've been selling fairly consistently, especially recently. They kind of picked up. So this one sold for $24.99. My average buy cost is right around $10 for these. Found them retail clearance back in January. They were selling kind of slowly, so I lowered the price. I feel like I might have found the sweet spot. This was a best offer, $24.99. I think I'm priced at $27.99. I still have a lot of them to sell. I might lower the price again just to sort of get a little boost here and move through a bulk of them. But retail arbitrage is an interesting beast. I could sell these for like $30 to $35. And I did sell some for $30 to $35 at the beginning. But the challenge is when you have so many of them, you can either sell them really, really slow. Like I'm talking like I have like 70 or 80 of these total. You can sell them really, really slowly, like over the course of 2 years, if you want to price them at $35, or you can try to get the price down a little bit lower, find like a sweet spot, and then just kind of move through them in like 8, you can probably get through like 90% of them in like 8 months. There's always like 10% left of like big bulk retail buys that kind of hang out for a little while, and almost no matter what you do. But that's kind of like what I'm thinking is like, how do I get to like 85 or 90% of these sold basically by August, and I'll be happy. So I think I might be a little bit behind pace on that. So I think I'll have to adjust the price even a little bit more aggressively to get those to go. Next up is an order for Jonathan. I have never bought or sold this brand before. New one for me. A bunch of you in the chat are probably going to say, I sell that brand all the time. What's wrong with you, dummy? And yeah, you're probably right that you sell it all the time, and I'm probably a little dumb. But this sold Fair Harbor board short, $23.99. That was my full asking price. These took 9 days to sell. So nice quick one again. Haven't paid the credit card bill. Already got the profit. Turn and burn. Not getting rich off these. $23.99. I paid $5. And if I look at the actual eBay numbers here, like what they're paying me out, they're going to pay me out $20.72. That's after fees. That's after the shipping label. And I paid $5. So that's going to leave me with $15.72 in profit on an item that was in my garage for 9 days. Not bad. That's what my business is built on. 5 into 25 and just keep doing it. And every now and again, you run into a 5 into 50 or a 10 into 100. But the core of the business is 5 into 25. Keep that rolling and then keep running into like some, periodically run into the high end stuff. What's the alligator thing you do with those comments? I don't know. That I just used the alligator one time to cover up like the person's name. I could have just chose any sticker, and I don't know why. I don't know what the context of the first time, but the alligator seemed like a good shape to cover the person's name. It's long and thin. I guess I could have used some other things too, but I was like, I'll just throw the alligator up. That looks good, and people seem to like the alligator thing, so I just used the alligator thing to cover up the person's name, and now we call them Alligator Man or Alligator Lady, and we just have a little bit of fun with it. But it was just like a random sticker that I used I could have used anything, but I was like, the alligator will be fun. And it was kind of like chomping on their face, like that's like, imagine that being their picture and like alligator chomp. I was like, yeah, cool. We'll just use that. I'll chomp on them. And I don't know. It just sort of took off. Some things are weird. Y'all seem to like it. I can use a different sticker if you prefer, but the alligator seems to be a people's champion. Kind of like the same person constantly asking to buy all my reef sandals at a highly discounted price. Got so annoying. I blocked him this morning. Nice. There's only so much tolerance for annoying stuff in this world, man. I respect your decision. Or the MSG saying they get paid in 3 days. Can you hold it for them? Yeah, exactly. I had to block someone like that on Poshmark yesterday. He got mad I was firm with my counteroffer. It's weird that people get firm. They get mad at you for being firm on your counteroffer. It's like, I don't know, my store, my prices. What do you want? You don't come in here and make the rules. I try to answer every message, but some people get out of hand. I hear that. I definitely don't answer every message. During this live, I had a lady on Depop ask if I could hold an item they want to get for a graduation gift. Yeah, right. Yeah, right, lady. Exactly. It's definitely Depop culture. Yep. Cult. That's their term. That's their word, not mine. Buy 55 units sold. I'll just laugh about the comments. But 55 units sold. I'll just laugh about the comments. I like it. Just joined. What did you just pack? A pair of Fair Harbor board shorts. $23.99. I paid $5 for it. Love the content these days. Appreciate that, Yitz. Appreciate you being here. Thanks for jumping into the live. I don't recognize that name in this live. I think you're new, and I appreciate that. I like the alligator. Gotcha. It's funny. I'll have like meetings with people about deals and stuff, and they'll be like, "Yeah, I love your content." They'll almost always say something about the alligator. They'll be like, "The alligator stuff's super fun." It's kind of like taken on like a life of its own, and I did not expect. I just randomly used an alligator one day to cover up somebody's name, and people got really into it. And yeah, it's funny. Like every time I have a meeting with somebody later on today, at least a 50-50 chance, probably better than 50-50 chance that they bring up the alligator thing. Of all the things that I post out there, like sometimes people mention the travel to thrift. That's a kind of a big thing that people, when I bump them into people in the wild at thrift stores or restaurants, when I see people around town, oftentimes people will mention the travel to thrift videos. I really enjoy those. Thank you so much. The other common thing is, man, those alligator things are so funny. And it's funny because that was just sort of a throwaway. It's a throwaway post. For me, it's not the most important thing. The teaching is always the most important thing. The teaching, the inspiring. And to me, those are like joke posts, which are definitely not the most important thing for me. Although there's something to be said about entertainment and whatever, but that's not the most important thing for me. But it's funny that so many people call out like, "Oh man, good to meet you. Hey, the alligator thing." Yeah, I don't know. It's funny how things work out. At one point in time, we had a carpenter bee infestation, like 4 years, almost 4, maybe 3.5 years ago. We had a carpenter bee infestation. It's a big thing in Western North Carolina, probably a lot of other places too. And on live, I would go out and I would kill some carpenter bees because you had to get them like right at the time when they're waking up and they're like coming out of the nest, which was like in the eve of the house, but they're not like lively yet. They're really hard to kill when they're lively because they're fast and they're evasive. So you kind of get them when they're waking up. So like my live would always be at 9 a.m. And in this early spring, like that's kind of when the sun's like starting to heat up the back of the house. And that's when they start coming out. So I'd go live and I'd be like, but I gotta kill these carpenter bees. And they're like, well, take us out with you. So I take out, I'm on the TikTok live and I'm out there. I think I was just on TikTok at the time for a live before they booted me off of TikTok live. And I would kill some carpenter bees or whatever. And I'm like, all right, cool. I killed some. That's a win. Let's go back in and ship some items. And like for months and months and months and months after that, like I did that like maybe twice, but people would ask about, they're like, what's going on with the carpenter bees? You killing carpenter bees today? I was like, oh yeah. No, we had the pest guy come out and they killed all, the carpenter bees are all dead. There's no infestation. We're good. But like months and months and months, would go by and like people would still come in and ask about the carpenter bee thing of all things. It's just funny what people latch onto. You just sort of never know. And that's why it's like, I don't give a lot of content creator advice, but some of the best content creator advice I think is just put it out there. You just never know. You might seem stupid to you at the time, like the carpenter bees thing or the alligator, just might be throwaway content, but you never know what people are going to latch onto, not the content that I put tons of time and energy into, like learning the market for blazers and crafting that, over the past 5 years, like really understanding the blazer market. People don't ask me about that when they meet me in the wild. They want to know about Alligator Man. And sometimes it's about like, oh man, that barbecue restaurant that you went to in Greensboro or in Greenville, like, it was like, well, what about all that stuff I taught you at the thrift store in that video? You want to talk about the food, but I get it. I actually really like the conversations about the food too. I think you already know that. Next up is newest brand new pair of Levi's 559. This is one of the hotter models right now for Levi's. For me, it's 527, 517, and 559 in that order. You can throw some 560s or some 569s in there too. This is a hotter one. Brand new with tags. I paid, I think, $12 for these. They sold for $36.99. That was a full price sale. I did get an offer for these for 25 buckaroos yesterday, and I countered at $33.99. And then somebody else came and bought them at full price, which I love when that happens. It always, they swooped in like 20 minutes later, a whole different person. They didn't want to haggle. They said, that's a good deal, $36.99. That's a $79 pair of jeans or whatever they are. They're like, I'll take those for $36.99. Thank you very much. You'll see sold comps on eBay for used 559s for $36.99. In some brands and in some models, the gap between new and used market is not that big. That's an example of one of them right there. I don't answer any messages on Posh and have notifications turned off. I do just fine. That's funny. Staying off Depop is a good choice. I say bad words every day when I get no follow through on offers. If I was busy like you, I'd drop it too. Yeah, I don't know if it's the right decision. Sometimes our decisions are just our decisions, and sometimes they're. That's the beauty of having our own individual businesses, is we can make our own decisions. Even if they're silly decisions, they're still ours. A funny alligator story, lol, chomp chomp. Yeah, that's funny. I love when that happens. I had a $15 offer off Wrangler Retros decline. Someone bought it next day for $24. Love those Wrangler Retros. Nice flip Desert Rain. That was one of my favorites. Next up, that's a little sneaky one. Sold. I put a bunch of stuff on sale last weekend to move some stuff, and it worked, including this guy, Robert, came in and bought a G4 golf polo, a different color. And this week he came back. He sent me an offer for $36.65, which is like the same price as the last one that he bought, which was on sale. He said, I came back for another polo. He put that in the message of his offer. I looked back. I'm like, did this guy buy last week on the sale? Because I knew I sold some G4s. Sure enough, he had bought a G4 last week on sale. So I was like, I don't really want to sell this for $36.65, but repeat customer. He just bought one last week. Why would I say no this week to the same price? So here we go. And I know that this is going to fit him because he bought another one already, same size, and he didn't return it. He wants another one. So I know it's not coming back. So that's a positive. One thing about new with tag clothing, I do tend to see a slightly higher return rate on new with tag clothing. And certain brands can be like pretty high. G4, I don't think I've had a high return rate on G4, but sometimes some brands just fit a little slim for an extra large, or a little, if they're kind of unusual sizing, you can get a lot of returns on them. Those collars and co brand new with tags, I have a high return rate on those. And I think it's because of just the way they fit. They don't fit like a regular dress shirt because they're moisture wicking, and kind of like a little bit of stretchy, more of a modern fit. I think that people are surprised at of that slimmer fit. So I have a higher return rate on those. Kind of one of them things. But anyway, this G4 sold. Not making a lot of money on this, but I made a lot of money on G4 in like 2026. 2024, sorry. I have a few stragglers that are left behind. Just clearance them out, get them gone. It's fine. I already made my money on them. Next up is a Polo Ralph Lauren. Speaking of just getting rid of something, a shirt with a flaw. I don't remember what the flaw is, but it says flaw on the item title. I can look at it. Sometimes you just got to clearance stuff out, get it out of your inventory. It's got like a little mark, like stain kind of thing, like up on the shoulder. So I called it out in the item title, in the description, and I did 2 close-up photos of it with a pointer pointing right at where those flaws were. So this person knows they're getting a flawed item. I get very few returns on flawed items because I call it out in the title, the description, and in the close-up photo. And this one sold for $8.98. So getting it out the door, it was a bad buy. I shouldn't have bought it, but I didn't notice the very obvious stains in the thrift store. I should have noticed it, but it's a mistake. We all make them. I probably make more than you. And but mistakes are teachers too. This one's out the door, $8.98. Probably break even price on this. I probably paid $5 for this at the thrift store. So whatever. Mistake buy, got out of it without losing money. You don't want to make a habit of this because you're just kind of wasting time listing items that you're going to break even on, and then you have to ship them. Not that shipping takes a lot of time for clothing, but you know what I mean. It's not a good habit. I'm not saying you should do it, but don't freak out if you make a mistake and don't notice a flaw. You can still get rid of it. In that case, I had to lower the price a couple times, get it out the door at $8.98. Next up is a new Howler Brothers, brand new with tags. I picked this up retail clearance. You can see the tag right there. Back in January, and I priced this one too high. It's a men's size small Emerger Tech shirt. I think I paid $15 for this. Now, I had it priced too high. I had it priced like $59. I lowered the price to $45.98, and I got the sale. So I just did that price lower like 2 weeks ago. So I was just too high in the market. And the funny thing is I mean, I sold a used Howler Brothers shirt last week for probably like the same price. I think I shipped it on Saturday. I can look this up. We have the power. Where is it? Anyway, it doesn't matter. It was like the same price, like $45 for a used Howler Brothers. This one's brand new, sold for $45. But certain models are just more in demand. This one doesn't have like any like that Western, doesn't have like a cool embroidery. It doesn't have like a cool all over print. It's just a solid blue moisture wicking snap front shirt that you'd wear for a hike. But it's still a good piece. And I paid $15 and it sold for $45.98. So we still did good. Yep, $45.98. Plus the buyer paid $6.95 shipping. I don't mind spending $15 to sell something for $45. I don't know how y'all feel about that, but I like that. I wish this was a multi-quantity pickup where I found a bunch of them. Unfortunately, it was the only Howler Brothers in that store. But let's just see how much my profit is after fees and shipping. So subtract the shipping label, subtract the fees. eBay's paying me out $29.86 on this. I paid $15. So I doubled my money. I paid $15. I made $15 profit. But I don't think about that flip like an ROI, like percentage. I'm not trying to triple or quadruple or whatever my money. I'm just like, hey, if I can make $15 profit off this shirt that I bought retail, I'll do it. Because why not? You know, a lot of the stuff that I buy and sell that's used, I pay $5 and make $15. For me, there's not really much difference in the like just the cycle of things. Like once you get the store moving and grooving, if I'm paying $5 for something and making $15 profit, or I'm paying $15 and making $15 profit, it doesn't really make a difference to me. You know, obviously it takes a little bit more capital, but that's not an issue. I have enough. I have the cash flow coming in every month that it doesn't matter. Like I'm not going to run out of money. It's not. I'm not making it. Like a lot of people say, like, well, I'd rather invest $15 in 3 shirts that I can sell for $15. Profit each, right? I'm like, yeah, me too. I bought those 3 for $5 each, and I bought this $15 one. I'm not like budget limited from month to month because I have enough cash flow coming in from sales every month that I don't have to like say, well, I can't afford those 3 $15. You know, I can't afford the $15 one, and I have to buy those 3 other ones. I can do both, and I'm not like flexing there. This is the reality. Is as your business matures, you build up a bank account. And you have cash flow consistently. Like I never have to, my bank account doesn't go down. Every month my bank account goes up. And I'm just like, I'm using the money that from sales for last month to buy stuff from this month. And it's always just sort of growing. So I'm not like limited at this point on budget. You know, I can drop I can go out and source today $10,000 at a retail store if there's a great clearance, and I could drop 10 grand. I've done it before. I've had I've had months where I spent $13,000 sourcing stuff. I can do that because I have the cash flow coming back in every month to pay for that, right? And it's always on a credit card, and I don't have to pay it off. Usually, on average, 45 days till the next time I'm paying off a credit card. So I'm making in those 45 days enough cash flow to already pay that thing off and pay the credit card down to zero every time. So I'm using the bank's money to buy a $15 item and selling it for 15, and I'm totally happy with that sale. It's great. I had a new tag tie returned to me after 3 weeks for ordered by mistake. It came back and he removed the tag and wore it. It wasn't even an expensive tie. So stupid. Sorry that you experienced that. Do your thrift stores not allow returns? Yep, for 7 days. eBay Internet with the tag still on. eBay International is still my favorite sales. There you go. I like it too. Do you inventory your incoming items and record cost per good per items, or apply cost per good based on average cost of items? I just record my cost of goods as like the receipts from that month. So I go through my credit card statement and boom, Goodwill, 37.32, cool. Goodwill, 122.57, cool. Marshalls, 732, right? And I just enter all those line numbers in. I don't really break it down per item. I remember what I've spent on a lot of these items, but I don't write it down. Some of them I'll just tell you. I'm like, I have no idea what I spent for this item. But flat rate pricing at my thrift stores makes most of the items I know. The shirts are $5, the blazers are $7, the jackets are $7 or $10, the jeans are $6, and the pants are $5. So I just sort of know most of that stuff. But the retail arbitrage stuff, I usually just kind of, sometimes I remember it, sometimes I don't. Love the coffee. Thank you. I appreciate you picking up some coffee. That means a lot. Thank you so much. We're going to take a break and ship out some coffee right now because I know some people ordered. I think some people ordered here during the live. So we're going to ship out a couple bags of coffee. I guess you get a break. I don't get a break. I'm still moving and grooving here. But I'm going to ship out a couple of coffee orders. Thanks, everyone who's supported my small business here. We got an order for Cheryl. I also see you right after that, Robert. I'll get your order out. But Cheryl first. This order came in first thing this morning. So thank you if you're watching the live, Cheryl. If not, we're going to send some positive vibes. Cheryl back for her third order with us, and her first order of our spring seasonal light roast. I forgot to send out an email about this or notify you about this, y'all. Last week I told you it was last call for the spring light roast. Well, I reached out to the roaster last week before I put in my order, and I said, hey, is there any chance that you're roasting a little bit more of the spring seasonal light roast? And they said, yeah, they can if I want some. And I said, I definitely want some because this is my favorite one. So we grabbed a couple bags. I stashed them away for Kim and I that we grabbed. But I do have the spring seasonal light roast again in stock. This is all I have left is a handful of bags left from it. So it's not like it's clearance. This was freshly roasted last Thursday and dropped off. I didn't get a chance to tell you, but I do have a few bags more of this. Cheryl's getting one of them right here. We will switch to the summer soon, but this has been our favorite seasonal light roast so far. We've had 12 of them, and this is our favorite. So I was happy to be able to sneak away with a couple bags from the final roast, which made me really happy. Sometimes they'll have like enough for a small roast left over. And we got lucky, but this is actually truly the last call. If you've enjoyed this spring seasonal light roast, now is the time to get it. Did you use a flame? Go smoke some Hornets. You're funny. I'm going to drop the link to my coffee website right down there. If you want to get a bag while we're live here, I'll ship it out on the live with a big dose of gratitude for you, just like we'll do with Cheryl right now and Robert in a moment. So thank you for supporting our small business. If you have any questions about the coffee, please let me know. I will. Just like I'll talk about clothing all day and all night, and I'll never stop popping my gums, I'm happy to talk about the coffee business too. I don't talk about it too much on videos or posts. I try to keep this channel really focused on reselling and helping you start and grow your reselling business. But I'll talk about the coffee as much as you want me to. We do have a light roast, we have a dark roast, and we have a medium roast. So whatever you're into, we got it. All our coffee is fair trade. It's organic, and it's roasted fresh every Thursday. And all our coffee is also available whole bean or ground. So if you like grinding it at your house, you can order the whole bean. That's how we do it. But if you like it already ground, show up at your front door, you can ship that too. We have both. All the coffee is it's top shelf stuff, y'all. I mean, this isn't like this is no joke coffee. Our coffee roasting partner, Dynamite Roasting, out of Black Mountain, North Carolina, about 30 minutes door to door from here. They are the best. They have literally won Western North Carolina's #1 coffee roaster 13 years in a row, as voted by the people. They've only been in business for 16 years, and they've won it 13 times in a row. That's no easy feat, and there's some really good coffee roasting in the area. So we're happy to partner with them. It is our favorite coffee in the world. It was what Kim and I drank every single day before we made this partnership. So they were the first company I reached out to. It was just a Hail Mary. I'm like, I wonder if Dynamite will work with us. And I wonder if they'll let us sell our very favorite coffee from them. So this is our very favorite coffee, the Hooper's Creek, the medium roast. Super crowd pleaser. If you've never tried our coffee before, this is the place I generally tell people to start because it's just such a smooth, balanced cup of coffee. This will never put anybody off. Just a hint of milk chocolate sweetness. It comes from Chiapas, Mexico in the highlands. Chiapas is the second, the southernmost state in Mexico, right by the Guatemala border. So a long way away from here. Coffee from that region tends to have like a little milk chocolate sweetness, and this has that little hint right there. So a lot of Central American, if you've ever had anything like Central American, tends to have that little hint of milk chocolate sweetness. But it's very, very subtle. It's not like flavored coffee or anything like that. Fair trade, organic, and it's also single origin. So all these beans come from one small cooperative of farms in Chiapas, Mexico. So this is like the top shelf coffee right there. That's our favorite. We like all our coffee. We also get the Black Mountain Dark Roast. Delicious. We drink a lot of that. And we've been in love with the spring seasonal light roast. We'll have the summer coming out here just next week. But if you want to check out the spring, this is your last chance. Gustav, thank you for your order. We'll get that right out after Robert here. Thank you so much. Appreciate y'all supporting the small business. The link to the coffee website is always in the description of this video too, if you want to check it out. And it's always at our link tree if you want to think about it. If you have questions, let me know. If you're looking for a recommendation, let me know too. So you can just tell me, what do you currently drink now? Like what roast, what brand, what roast, and I can make a recommendation for you. So we got, Robert, have you been drinking the dark roast? So we got 2 bags of ground Black Mountain Dark Roast going out to Robert. Thanks, brother. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Is this what you've been drinking? I can't remember what I shipped you the last time, Robert. We got Robert hooked like, 2-3 months ago? One thing you'll probably, if you've ordered coffee from me before, I like to put the coffee in these like little clear plastic bags. But you'll notice that I leave a hole in the bag because mostly I just want to keep moisture out for the most part. But I'm going to rip this hole in the bag right up at the top where the vents are because I want the CO2 to still get out. Because this coffee is still so freshly roasted that it is still what we call off-gassing. So CO2 is still coming out particularly rapidly in like the first 7 to 10 days, especially the first 3. So I want that to be able to get out. So I'm going to wrap you up tight, except for at that top, I'm going to leave that vent so some of that CO2 can get out there. When this shows up in Robert's mailbox or front door, like on your way to the mailbox, you're going to smell the coffee before you even get near it. That's the feedback that we get from people. Or you could just be in our office and it just constantly smells like coffee. But so that's why I put that little hole in there. You want it to off gas a little bit because this is freshly. This is roasted 4 days ago. So yes, third order dark roast. Nice. Farting coffee. What is going on? That's what it is. It's off gassing, brother. That's what they call it. That's a technical term. Off gassing. I'm not an expert in coffee, but I'm learning a little bit every day. That's what's fun. This is my side hustle now, you know. When I first started reselling, I had a full-time job as a career coach. I was working with software engineers and data scientists, and that's what I was doing all day was teaching classes / coaching sessions. And my side hustle was selling clothes, which was mostly on Saturdays is when I did most of my sourcing. And now my side hustle is coffee because I'm full time with the clothes. I needed something as a side hustle. So, and I was like, this time I'm gonna pick something that I really want to learn a lot about and something that I can talk about every single day and not get old of talking about. And by the way, get high on the our own supply, so to speak, too. So let's see here, pirate ship. We're gonna get you a shipping confirmation in your inbox here in just 2 shakes of a lamb's tail, Robert, and we'll get right to you after that, Gustav. Thank you so much. Nice. Is that you, Cool Unique Finds? That's Gustav. Gustav? Am I saying that right? Just order more. Love the support of the channel. You do a local coffee house, and the coffee is amazing. Thank you so much, and thanks for also pointing out that not only are you supporting Kim and I's small business, you're also supporting Dynamite Roasting, which is a small business, 15 employees. They'll do 300,000 pounds of coffee this year, but it's a small business, 15 employees, and they're really great people too, and they do good stuff in the community as well. They are well known around here and like well liked, well respected. They do a lot of coffee shops in the area. It's just kind of where they do a lot of their business. In Western North Carolina, they supply a lot of the best coffee shops in the area, and that makes sense because if you're gonna have a really good coffee shop, it starts with really good beans, you know. So yeah, they do really well with that around here. Thank you, Mr. Rob. Going out the door. You got a shipping confirmation in your inbox, brother, with your shipping, your tracking information. I just brewed some beans while listening to you. That's my kind of comment right there. I like it. I actually still have a little bit of my my second this cold brew. A little bit of oat milk. This is the light roast. 100. Sometimes with the cold brews, we like mixing them. So we'll do like 50% dark roast, 50% light roast, just to kind of get some cool, unique flavors. But lately, we've been drinking a lot of the spring light roast, just 100% spring light roast, cold brewed overnight in the fridge, and a little bit of oat milk. Rock and roll, baby. Tear up the earth. Yes, sir. Gus, not far from you guys in Winston. Nice, nice. There's some good coffee out there in Winston. I almost don't want, I mean, I'll recommend it. I think it's called Magic Beans. Is that right? My brother and sister-in-law live out in Winston-Salem, and he doesn't buy my coffee. He buys the Magic Beans, but I mean, he's supporting another coffee roaster. All good. He's drank plenty of our coffee, but I think that's what it's called. I think it's called Magic Beans. It's good coffee. I've had it out there. I support it. Have you ever done a behind-the-scenes tour of your coffee operations? I haven't posted one on YouTube, but I've done it a lot. Like I've been live. I've live streamed up at the roastery before, and like, you know, talked with the CEO, talked to the head roaster. We've done all kinds of stuff. We did cupping, which is like the actual process that you use in the industry of tasting coffees. We've done a couple of those before up there. We should do some more of that stuff. It'd be fun. If it wasn't a side hustle, I would do so much cool stuff with it, but it has to be a side hustle. I got all this other stuff going on, but it is a fun little side hustle, and I appreciate y'all supporting it. It means a lot. So Gustav, we'll get your order. It looks like we got 2 bags of the ground dark roast. Is that right? Got you. Going out the door to you. Thank you, Cool Unique Finds. I meant I was pooping. Nice, nice, nice. Gustav, you're gonna get the ugly box that like, when they ship me the boxes, they don't put them in like any kind of bag. They just like put the shipping label right on one, like the outside of one of the boxes. So you get the last one, the ugly one. But all that matters is it's sturdy. The ugly duckling box. Freshly roasted straight to your front door. Thank you, Gustav. Appreciate it. I know right where you're at. Have you ever done a behind? Oh, I already answered that one. I'd love to do more content about the coffee. It's actually a really good idea. I really have been trying to limit, and I know this sounds crazy, but I've been really trying to limit the amount of time I spend talking about coffee on this channel, because this channel is really for reselling. but it is my side hustle. I'm proud of it. I'll talk about it here on the lives, and it is a daily glimpse into my business. I'm shipping out coffee just the same as I'm shipping out clothing, so I don't feel bad talking about it, but I really don't try to pump out a lot of content about it because I know that you guys are here to learn and grow your reselling businesses. So I try to really focus on that and not have this be like a constant sales pitch of coffee. But I'm proud of it, and I just try to like just talk about it in little like glimpses and pieces. I don't even know the last time I mentioned coffee in a video. I usually do like I'll make a photo post like once a quarter typically about coffee. It's usually when I'm launching the new light roast, but that's it. I did have another channel that was specifically for it's called Peak Asheville, and I talked about a local restaurant, food, drink, and outdoors, like hiking and stuff here in Asheville. And my bigger goal with that was going to be the channel where I talked about coffee with some frequency. But I've kind of like put that channel on the shelf. I just don't have enough time. So put that on the shelf for a little bit. But that was my kind of bigger plan, was to use that channel, which is more of a lifestyle channel, and use that to promote the coffee. Because I think coffee goes goes in more with like, the lifestyle content of food, drink, and outdoors. Like coffee kind of vibes with that a little bit better. But anyway. You got a shipping confirmation coming in your inbox, Gustav, and 2 shakes of the lamb's tail here. We'll get you shipped out faster than Bezos. Bezos is in a yacht in the Mediterranean right now, just raking in money from Amazon. Here I am, thanking you live, shipping it out faster than anyone on the face. I guess I can make that claim. The fastest coffee shipper east of the Mississippi. We'll go with that. You're out the door. Tracking number in your inbox. Gustav, thanks so much. You're in Winston-Salem. You're going to get this. My guess is Thursday, but there is a good chance you'll also get this on Wednesday. We'll see what happens. But it's going out today. Don't you worry about that. Appreciate y'all supporting our small biz, our side hustle. It means a lot. It's super fun. We enjoy learning about the coffee, and we love shipping it to you. I'm going to drop the link right here in the chat again, just in case somebody's just walking in and missed the last link. The link is always in the description of this video, too. If you want to check out our coffee, if you want to get an order right here on the live, I'll ship it out on the live with a big dose of gratitude for you. And I would love to do so. Just got a return notification. Get out of town, will you, with these returns? West of Paco's partner. There you go. I haven't heard of Magic Beans, but I do go to the Coffee Park Airstream. You should try that. It's near downtown. It's pretty cool. I think I know which one you're talking. It's got a funny name, like Spanky Sparkies. What is that the one I'm thinking of? The little Airstream there. There might be more than one of those. It's out like towards Buena Vista. Let me see here if I can find it. Oh no, not Starbucks. I think it's right here. Yeah, the Coffee Park drive-through. I thought that was like wasn't that like that was somebody else before, right? It was like Spanky Sparkies. But yes, I have been there as recently as 6 months ago, ish. Yeah, like that spot. There's that Bobby Boy Bake Shop right nearby there too. Cranky's, that was the one. Was their coffee bean provider? I think, didn't Cranky's used to operate like the Airstream there, or am I just like years ago, or am I just remembering that wrong? But yes, we're in that neck of the woods quite a bit. My brother and sister-in-law live in the West End, so that's walking distance for us. We not quite walking distance to there. We usually drive there, but all that stuff like Hoots and the Remedy Cafe and Bar and that brewery Joymongers, like we're always like kind of walking down in that area. Anywho, always good to talk. Let's get going on some Poshmark sales, huh? BS brother, we're here to support you no matter what you're rapping about. Ants, pants, coffee, your life. I appreciate that. I knew I could count on you, Jack. I knew that. Let us do some Poshmark. And actually, not much. We're almost done here. Not much Poshmark, but some really good sales on Poshmark. So only 2 total sales, but both of them were bundles. So that's cool. Let me bring up my Poshmark. I have like 1,000 tabs. How does this happen? I started with like a healthy 4 tabs open. And now I'm telling you, there's 18, 20 tabs. Oh my goodness gracious. What in the world? Okay. Poshmark. We got interesting bundle here that came through last night. I don't often get bundles that are like this, but it's like an outfit. So a Warren Ralph Lauren blazer. See, I don't know if you could tell, but it's a nice blue Glen plaid pattern. Glen plaid is just selling really, really well for me. So that sold. And this is a pair of bonobos. It's a wool and linen blend pair of pants right here. You can see it's got like almost like I guess it's a herringbone. Got like a little herringbone pattern on it. So these sold for a price. Went back and forth with this buyer. $63 on the bundle right here. So basically call it $35 for the blazer, we'll call it, and $28 for the pants. That's about right. So not bad right there. I think I paid 8 for the pants and 7 for the blazer. So I'm 15 in, 63 out. Or 15 out, 63 in. You get it. I'll probably put this in a box because I can. The Poshmark boxes are free. Let's do that. I've become much more selective with the bonobos pants, but that one was a wool and silk blend, so to me that was like a pretty easy decision there. But just like the regular cotton ones or the cotton spandex blend ones, I don't know, those really haven't been selling like they used to, so I've really slowed down on picking them up. But if there's wool or silk or linen, sometimes corduroys or jeans I'll buy too, but just the regular cotton ones, I don't know how they're doing for you, but they have not been crushing it for me. I'll say that. And I'm not saying like over the last couple of months. I mean like over the last couple of years. I feel like they've just really been slow movers. I have to discount them to get them gone. These are going to Bonnie in West Jordan, Utah. Thanks to Bonnie. Joy Mongers, yeah. Solid little hangout place down there. Oops, what did I do here? That's not the right button. Yeah, solid hangout there at Joy Mongers. Next up is a bundle of 2 blazers. Awesome sale right here. Probably this is the best sale of the weekend. Let's just call it what it is. So 2 Johnston and Murphy blazers. This is a brand that I haven't picked up much, but I've been messing with it lately, and it's been messing really well. So you can see that nice plaid pattern. This is the interior right here, the liner, but this over here is the exterior plaid pattern. So like a blue plaid, really nice modern in style look. And then same thing over here. You can see the plaid on this side here and the liner there. So both of these are the same size, 2 extra large. One is a silk wool blend, this one. The other one's 100% wool. Listed these for $65 a pop. And I got an offer, I think the offer was $90. I countered at 99 and took it down for 99. So got $49.50 a blazer. I paid $7 a pop. So $14 out, $99 in. So after fees, Poshmark's going to keep $20. So that's going to leave me with $79, and I paid $14. So what's that? $65 in profit. Did I do that math right? $65 in profit on this one sale. We'll put this in a box too. Is that going to fit? I might put it in one of these bigger boxes. So gotta love that. And I think this is a nice quick sale too. I feel like I just listed these blazers. Wait for it. 24 days. So, just over 3 weeks, turning 14 bucks into a $64 profit. I'll take that. I will take it. And I think that's the third Johnston Murphy that I've sold, or second and third. Let me just double check my math here. Yes, the other one sold for $50 even on eBay. It took 13 days to sell. That one was also a really nice plaid pattern. It was 100% wool. That one was 2 extra large too. I found all 3 of those at the same thrift store. I just remembered that. So that's pretty awesome. So in 24 days, I sold 3 Johnston & Murphy plaid blazers for a total of $149 plus shipping. So incredible quick profit off that. Haven't even paid the credit card bill from that pickup, and I already got all that. I mean, that's great profit. I'm freaking happy with that. Oh, what was it? I'm freaking happy with that. Yeah, I forgot I found all 3 of those at the same thrift. Back to back to back. I was like, you know what? I'll mess with Johnston & Murphy. We'll give it a go. I like the plaid patterns. And that's a W. That is a W. All right, what else we got here? Got 2 more orders came in on eBay. I sold a brand new with tags Faraday linen shirt for $74.99 and a lot of 2 Daniel Cremo premium shirts, $44.99 for those 2 shirts plus shipping. So still moving and grooving. I'm not going to ship those. I'm going to ship those tomorrow, but I'm done shipping for today. That's enough. Crankies with a coffee bean provider. Joymongers, about nap time. It's funny, the chat, you all got like you're like wild and rambunctious earlier on. And then like when we get towards the end, like everyone quiets down. And that's good. We need like some cool down energy right here. Y'all, thanks for joining the live today. I had a good time. We'll do this again next Monday and every Monday, right around noontime Eastern time. I'll tell you again about all the sales from the weekend. We'll chitty chat about reselling trends, things we're seeing. And I hope you come back for the next one. In the meantime, I'm going to put out some content every day, like I do every day. We're going to put out a couple of photo posts every day. We'll get some reels out there this week. And I got a new YouTube video coming. It will drop. I think we're going to get it for Wednesday and Thursday. I've barely started editing that video, but I went to Roanoke, Virginia, did some thrifting over the course of 2 days. I filmed the whole darn thing. We went and ate some food, saw some mountains. I think you'll enjoy the video. I enjoyed filming it, and I think the edit will be fun. So looking forward to dropping that later this week. Hope everybody has a really awesome week of sales. Hope you find some great stuff when you're out and about. And, it's summertime too, so I hope some of you get some time to like unplug, get outside, enjoy some nice weather, see some music, get on some hikes. Man, we had a great weekend. We did both of those things. Saw music, went on a hike, and ate some tacos. Like, that's about as good as it gets for a weekend, right? So anyway, wishing you all a good week ahead. We'll see you next Monday. In the meantime, peace. Take care. We'll see you. Thank you, and Jess. See you, Marie. I appreciate